Hello, and welcome to another episode of Creative Inclinations, a one-on-one conversation-based podcast about art, music, culture, entertainment, and more with me, David Steele. This is episode 13, and today we have a special guest, Julius the Robot.
Hello,
Welcome.
everyone.
Thanks for coming. Came out from Norman to be here because you are a part of the Uncanny Art House out there. You're the gallery manager, is that right?
I am the gallery manager at Uncanny Art House, and it is a exciting place to be. We've got a lot going on, and kind of seemingly almost feels like we came out of nowhere sometimes.
Right. Yeah, because I remember, I've kind of been following you guys since you opened. Even before the actual new space opened, it was the Uncanny Alley originally. And I remember going there probably, I guess it was 2 years ago, maybe not.
Roughly.
Yeah, it was like, because I remember that year, I guess it was, anyways, there was the association, the guys that do the experimental music shows was doing a show out there. And I just kind of like dragged one of my friends along with me. I was like, I want to go see this. So we live here, so it's like a little bit of a trek to get out there sometimes. But yeah, I wanted to check it out. And I guess I had been in there maybe a couple times because it must have been like during Northern Music Fest even, or one of something. I remember walking through it briefly and then checking out some of the art.
They did have events at the Alley Space during that time because Dylan Johnson, who's one of the original founding members, super passionate about NMF, has been around since the first iterations of it. And the Alley Space was its own thing that really sparked a lot of inspiration for many people. And also NMF is a great time.
Yeah. But I always like that because there's not enough spaces, art houses, or art galleries like you guys. And one that I'm very connected with here in the city is Mycelium Gallery. I don't know if you've been in there yet.
Yes, I had a chance to see them probably. When did I go in? It had to have been maybe around 3 months ago.
Okay.
And loved their space. Loved the the installations that they have.
Yeah, like the immersive art.
Yes,
things.
like they have this flow of a gallery setting, a retail store, but then there's these little pockets of installations inside their space, and I just love that. Experiential art is something that a lot of people really want to get into, and I'm glad to see that Mycelium Gallery is pulling it off really well.
Yeah, it's because I think that they kind of, another one to mention just quickly is Factory Obscura. I think it's very inspiring to have that, and then kind of Mycelium Gallery. They've been around for a few years now. They also started in a smaller space, similar to you guys. But yeah, kind of have that smaller concept, and then people really like it, so you can grow into a bigger space.
Yes, and it's it's so exciting to have a situation like that, because when you start off in a smaller space, there's all this anxiety around, well, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? What if people don't like it? What if we can't get people to come? And there's always the chance of that. But I think more often than not, your community and the people around you that support you will show up, will talk to other people about it, and help you grow it in ways that you don't expect.
Yeah.
I can remember my first experiences with working in creative art spaces. I think it was like 2013 was when I started getting involved in that kind of stuff, and it was truly the Wild West.
Yeah.
In DIY
like,
art.
I remember, because I've been playing music here since like the late 2000 or whatever 2000s, I guess 2008 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I mean, I've always been kind of adjacent to the art gallery spaces and things like that. But it's like, remember there was this place called the Twisted Root in the Paseo,
I don't know
long
if I
time
ever heard of
ago.
that one.
Yeah, it was like I said, probably 2010 or something like that. And but it was like, that was like the only place, especially in the Paseo, but in the city, that was like kind of this expressionist kind of art, abstract art. I always say about the Paseo, it's like I get sick of going there to their galleries because a lot of it's just very traditional fine art, paintings of flowers and animals. It's like, which is nice, but it's like, okay, I've seen this 1,000 times.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
it's like places like I said, the Twisted Root, and then I think they changed their name to just the Root for a while, and they had a little stage in there where we played there. I played there once, like early, I guess, I don't know, 10 years ago, but
Super cool.
yeah. So it's like, and then since when that place closed, it's like there was like nothing, like within the Mycelium Gallery came around. Now there's Uncanny Art House, so there's like these different like alternative art, I feel like, spaces. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really
Definitely alternative. Yeah.
yeah, it's a little,
Definitely like the working artists,
yeah,
like actually making space of their
more
own.
like DIY too, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Less of the kind of upscale kind of hoity-toity art.
Yes. Yes. Which, yeah,
Yeah,
I know people. I myself have worked with
right.
more
Those,
formal
yeah,
galleries and
bigger,
formal
higher
spaces.
end, yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
it can be a lot.
Mhm.
But that's part of the
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah, for sure. That's where you want to get, because I
Hmm.
mean that's where people are spending the money on, a lot more
Yes.
money on the art.
But what I mean is the
Yeah.
motivation to
Okay.
like create like spaces of our
Right.
own
Okay.
that
Mhm.
can kind of weave in between
Mhm.
the needs of working artists and then also, find people
Mhm.
that are willing to buy their work, interested in their work, who might have the money.
Yeah, that's the key. And I don't.
Hmm.
The problem now is nobody has any money,
No, it's a rough time.
but
It's true.
hopefully that'll change soon. So okay, well, we'll definitely. I want to talk more about Uncanny a little bit later, but I kind of want to start. Let's see. I guess kind of talking a little bit about you and what you do. I always like going on people's Instagram and like whatever the caption is. It's usually, I always like, is like that's how you describe yourself, right? So
Hmm.
yours is the media hacking clown of the Midwest. So that
Yes.
was funny. But multimedia design, video production, printer by trade, painter by heart.
Hmm.
And you're at Julius the Robot on Instagram. Um, so yeah, I kind of wanted to start with visual art because that's kind of, I don't know if you would say that's your main thing, like you said, but it's from your heart, right? The
Yeah.
painting and
Yes.
kind of creating visual art. So, what's one of your earliest memories wanting to be an artist, like when you were growing up?
I'm going to say something not so controversial.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
cool.
Legend of Zelda was one of the major
Mhm.
influences in my creative life when I was younger.
Yeah.
I used to play Ocarina of Time
Okay. Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
I lived in that world. I loved it.
Yeah.
I would get the game guides and just obsess over the
Like all the
illustrations.
art in there.
Yes,
Mhm.
and was really into cartoons,
Mhm.
and so I really started in illustration,
Okay.
draw.
You wanted to be like a artist of that type, right? Like drawing
Yes,
cartoons or animated things.
yes, I was super into anime.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
that's not
Yeah.
apparent,
Yeah.
now the world knows.
Right.
But I got really interested in that really young. I
Mhm.
started replicating characters that I
Yeah.
really liked, and from there started being able to create my own characters, my own
Yeah.
stories, and uh, made numerous narratives
That's awesome.
that I still have some of
Yeah.
those notebooks, but I really was focused on sequential art and narrative work
Mhm.
from the time I was, I don't know, probably like 10 years
Yeah.
old up through college.
Mhm.
and I ended up getting a painting degree at Cameron University in
Mhm.
Lawton. Uh,
Okay, yeah.
and resisted art school so hard because they teach you all the formal stuff.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot there, and it really gave me a good foundation
Right.
because
Yeah.
I learned, drawing from life actually can inform
Mhm.
your illustration work,
Yeah.
versus just like emulating what
Right.
you're
Other. Yeah.
seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That definitely. Because I think that's something. It's like I'm a formally trained graphic artist. I studied graphic design and got into it. I mean, I worked in it for over 10 years. I don't do it anymore because I've talked about this before, but I think that job as a profession is kind of going away in many ways for many reasons. And just, I mean, it's just there's no work out there for unless you're like a freelancer or whatever, of course. But
Yeah, that's really
yeah,
that's really the way.
yeah,
Agency work, like some people are cut out for it, and bless them.
yeah.
But the freelancer life is for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I fell into graphic design,
Right.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
I got an art degree, which had a graphic design program,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. And
I
then.
opted for painting, and I was like, I don't want to listen to rules, and I don't want to
Mhm.
do this. And so I didn't touch it for a long time, but um, while I was living in Oklahoma City, I had done some just random graphic design jobs here and there.
Mhm.
And then suddenly I started working with Chase Spivey,
Mhm.
who we had worked together in the past. And I applied for a job opening that he had on there. And he said immediately hired. Like he gave me an interview.
Right. Was
But
that for his company, Spivey Media, right?
yes, it
Okay.
was Spivey
Yeah.
Media. And I've been working with him pretty much
Cool.
ever
Yeah,
since.
because you guys are currently working together at Uncanny.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So yeah, did you grow up in Oklahoma City or Oklahoma? I was always asked this, like, where'd you grow up?
Well,
Curious.
my family's from Louisiana,
Okay.
so I was born there, and my parents moved to Kentucky in '93
Okay.
because my dad got a job out there with my papa. And then in '99, both my papa and my dad got different jobs here in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So moved here in '99 and have been here ever since.
Cool.
So I essentially grew up here
Yeah.
because I was a
From very
kiddo. I think
young.
I was in
Yeah.
like third grade or something
Right.
like that.
Like yeah, when you're that young, it's like you probably don't have too many memories of not living here.
You want to know the
Yeah.
one memory I do
Uh,
have though from that transition is in Kentucky, and this I feel like speaks to the state of the school system
mhm.
here in Oklahoma. When I moved here, I was in second grade and I had started strings class. So I was
Mhm.
learning the violin.
Yeah.
And when I moved here and was starting third grade, my parents spoke with the admin at my school
Mhm.
and was saying, hey, she's been doing this already for about a year and a half. Is there any way we can get her into the program because she's really interested in it?
Yeah,
And
music.
then they were like, no.
Yeah.
And I remember being so mad that I was like, fine. Because they said that, oh, well, you can, when she gets into fifth grade,
Mhm.
um, you know,
Yeah, 'cause
she she can pick it back up again. But it's like I
yeah.
had the passion for it right then.
Mhm.
And when I got to that grade,
Yeah, and then you're
I
forgot about
tried.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't. Like because I was so obsessed with music, I
Mhm.
was like, okay, I'm gonna get into the strings program finally. Like I was waiting for it.
Yeah,
And it feels
counting the
like
days.
yeah, counting days, it feels like ages when you're a kid.
Huh.
And so I get into the first session and my teacher was a jerk.
Oh,
I
yeah.
quit after the first day.
That sucks.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
still
You
maintained
still
some.
found your
I
music
found
and
music.
yeah,
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 I
for
found it,
sure.
but I remember being very sad about it for a very
Mhm.
long
Yeah, 'cause,
time.
just growing up or just that memory, I think it was I mean, 'cause I lived here my whole life, so I went to school here for my whole life, but, I do remember, like, 5th grade was the
The
time
time
you
when
were
you get
able to do that. I
yeah,
don't know, but I don't know why. I don't know, but
who
there's a
knows?
lot to say about our school systems. We don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
But, so was it? Because speaking of, like, growing up, I always like to ask this, but, like, did it growing up or maybe having moved around, did it have any influence on you being an artist or wanting to create art or
Yes, I would say that I've always been really inclined to be a daydreamer.
yeah.
And so I have very um, vivid memories of that time, like being in Kentucky and then
Mhm.
moving to Oklahoma. And the world felt so big. I mean,
Mhm.
to kids, the world
Yeah.
feels so huge. And I can remember that feeling and how sometimes, like, my daydreams and dreams, sometimes it was a little difficult for me to separate the
Mm.
two.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
and, I always had a narrative or a story going in
Mhm.
my mind at all times because I just have such an active
Yeah.
imagination. And I would say that moving around definitely had an impact
Yeah.
on that because, you get to see different places
Yeah.
and you're kind of put in these situations where you have to meet new people.
Yeah.
And you're not quite old enough to understand like really what it means. Like you might be frustrated, like, oh, I'm moving and I'm losing all my
Mhm.
friends, and why are we moving? I don't want to go there. But ultimately, like, I always saw change as an adventure,
Mhm.
and I feel like
That's good,
that
yeah.
that's been a huge influence on me
Right.
through time.
Definitely, it makes sense. I mean, that's a good way to think about change if you can. A lot of people
Yes.
resist it, and like
Yes.
especially as kids, it's like when I never had that problem, but I've always heard people. I'm sure if you're a kid and you're like having to move and change schools and meet new friends, that's could be really hard on a lot of kids.
Oh, yes, and it is. And Lawton is a military
Yeah.
town.
Okay.
So oftentimes, like, being there, people that I met through school would
They would
move.
move
Yeah,
away.
they would move
Yeah.
away. And, they always talked about how used to it they were. But, deep down, it was
Still.
really bothersome for
Yeah.
them because they couldn't ever feel like they belonged
Yeah.
somewhere. And, my bestie growing up,
Mhm.
military family. And yeah, she wasn't exactly thrilled about Lawton, like,
Yeah.
but she was happy to have somewhere where she could have a
Yeah, more
community and meet people.
stable.
Mhm.
That's cool. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. I think because no matter where you grow up, that usually has some kind of influence on kind of what you want to do.
Yes, and I lived out in the country too. So that's
Yeah.
another thing is I lived out away from
Yeah.
like the east side of Lawton, so it was out in the country.
Mhm.
Wide open fields, like the closest neighbors were like
Yeah.
way over there. And somehow I was able to still steal their internet, which, like, sorry about that.
Yeah.
If for whatever
That's
reason
funny.
you end up watching this, I did steal your internet. But they were, way over there, and
Right.
it was very quiet out there.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time outside, especially at
Yeah.
night.
I mean, it makes sense that if you're kind of isolated like that. I mean, it's like where else do you have to go but inside your head and
Yes.
kind of create your own entertainment or, entertain yourself.
Yes, and like especially at night out there,
Hmm.
it can be a little scary because there's always
Right.
the threat of coyotes. But
Hmm.
I would just be hanging out
Yeah. In
at my
your.
folks' house, and we had a pond, so I just like walk around,
Hmm.
and yeah, I got a lot of
Yeah.
inspiration from that time, especially like through the nature
Hmm.
that was
For
there.
sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely interesting. So, did you have any? I guess you kind of answered this already, but one question is like, who or what were your early influences when it comes to visual art? I mean, you mentioned like Zelda and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Was it like the fantasy kind of style or that kind of world? I imagine, but was there
Yeah.
anything like, were there any like specific artists or anything like that that you liked?
I fell in love with Jamie Hewlett.
Okay.
Because who wouldn't, who doesn't, he's the artist for Gorillas.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's similar to. I mean, I can see that now with your style of art in
yes,
a lot of
yeah,
ways.
and that's just one, that was one
Yeah.
period of my
Hmm.
illustration work. I was absolutely in love with him. And was obsessed with the Gorillas. Like, the
Mhm.
concept of having a
Yeah.
cartoon band really just blew my mind.
Right. Yeah, because it's like music. That was like the one of the biggest kind of successes in combining music and art in a lot of ways, like visual art with really good music too. It
Yes, and
was,
I mean, and look at where they've taken it,
yeah,
and with what is it, Damon Albarn, like the
yeah,
lead guy of the
okay,
Gorillas.
hmm,
The two of them, working together, like it made sense. Now,
yeah,
granted, I know that they've had some
hmm,
disagreements over the years and all that, but I mean, they built something really successful
hmm,
and timeless.
yeah, yeah,
And it came from a place of kind of rebelling
hmm,
against uh what the typical
yeah,
music
like
situation was.
MTV too, because that was around the time whenever I mean there were still MTV. I mean that music videos and those kind of
Yes.
pop artists and everything like that was really big.
Yeah, and I think part of it too, and I can't remember where I read this, was like, they didn't want to show their faces. They didn't want
Yeah,
to participate
yeah,
in putting their music out in the same way
hmm,
as these other musicians at
right,
the time.
yeah.
And I always thought that was really cool.
Mhm.
Had those albums on repeat all the time. Um, and yeah, I mean, several like video games
Yeah.
were big influences on me. Silent Hill was one
Yeah.
of them.
That horror, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, horror's definitely in there.
Uh-huh.
Um, Final Fantasy.
Mhm. A lot
Um,
of good art there.
yes, lots of amazing art. It's really unbelievable, like the fact that they've pretty much had the same artist like
Yeah.
for so long. Um, and yeah, just really just nerding out
Mhm.
over stuff
A
like
lot of
that.
that's what's I mean, I'm a huge nerd too. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you haven't really looked around in my house, but there's like just comic book art and all kinds of
Okay,
shit
well, I can't
everywhere.
wait after we
Yeah.
get done to take
Yeah,
a peek at
yeah. But it's like
everything.
I always say that to people. It's like if people didn't know, if anyone that comes to my house will immediately know that I'm a huge video game nerd, comic book nerd.
I don't know,
But yeah.
your tie tells me a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very bright and colorful and it's got
Mhm.
the hard lines. I'm like, this
Yeah, that's kind of
person.
like the I
Mhm.
mean, something I always look at that's something I've always said about comic books and why I'm so fascinated by the art of it is like or similarly to like me liking graphic design, it's like this kind of pop art style of, hard like you said, the hard lines and
Mhm.
very like, pop colorful things. Usually what I am drawn to it's graphic art, but also with comic book art
Yeah.
in that way. But yeah, that's awesome for sure. There's a lot of like, but there's a ton of I think nerds right that are into like video games and anime that like get into art because of for that reason. There's so much of it there.
Yes, yeah, so much to pull from and just
Hmm.
like the whole it's like the reason you have protagonist in a narrative, like if
Yeah.
you're reading a book, you're kind of like putting yourself in that
Yeah.
character.
Right.
Video games are the same
Hmm.
way,
Yeah.
and so you can just run with it.
Hmm. Yeah,
um
especially yeah, for sure. I never thought about that. When I think about that with video games in particular, as far as it, I think of video games are the most immersive narrative form that's
mhm.
ever been created because you're literally an active participant in the story.
Yes,
Whereas,
and
yeah,
now with VR,
yeah, even
that's a
more
whole nother
so.
thing.
Hmm.
I've been trying to find the VR chat rooms with
Mm,
it's like some TikTok viral character where he's like
mm,
a worm or something.
mm, yeah.
Um, I don't know. You'll have to look it up after
Yeah,
this, but I've been trying to find those chat rooms because I'm
yeah.
like, what in the world is going on in here? I wanna know like what it's like to be in a room where something's
Right.
actually happening and it's entertaining and it's
Hmm.
weird and surreal.
Yeah, but it's like you're there, but it's in a virtual
But yeah, it's a
space.
virtual
Yeah,
space.
for sure. I've always been fascinated by VR. I mean, not so much. I haven't really messed with it at all. Like, with the new, but as a kid growing up, it's like, oh man, that's such a fascinating concept.
Yeah, and now it's here.
Yeah,
And now people are like in their
right.
VR chats like every day.
Hmm.
And that's like, once they get off work, they go home and then they have a
Yeah,
whole nother
that's,
life
yeah.
in the VR world.
It's fascinating for
Hmm.
sure. One day, yeah, we'll definitely can only imagine, or eventually we'll get to that point where it's Ready Player One.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
And so we'll see. So yeah, I guess I had a question about your digital art, but yeah,
Hmm.
how did you get started with that? I guess because imagine you were a painter and an illustrator, so you're drawing by hand. But what was it about like digital art, and kind of how did you get into creating in it? I guess my question is maybe like also what do you use and how do you start
Yeah.
program wise and things like
Okay. Yeah.
that.
No, this is fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
MS Paint.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, MS Paint is what everybody
Right.
started with back in that
I
time.
always say one thing I like to tell people about, like, because I like video editing, so but I started with Windows Movie Maker was my
Yep.
first video
Yep.
editor.
Same.
Yeah,
Same. I started with all the
yeah.
classic Windows
Hmm.
programs, and I want to say it was probably when I was around 11 or
Hmm.
12. I discovered these things, pen tablets that
Oh,
that
like
are,
Wacom.
yeah, like
Yeah,
Wacom
yeah.
and stuff like that, but they were still relatively
Hmm.
new-ish to the
Yeah,
public market or
and like not
inaccessible.
and not very good. I from what I remember,
No, they were
very
not
hard
very
to
good.
use. Yeah,
Yes, very difficult to
yeah.
use, but I've always had a fondness for
Hmm.
technology. If you couldn't tell,
Yeah,
I'm very interested in technology, always have been since I was younger, like fixing my PS2, like figuring out
yeah.
how to like take it apart and like put it back together.
Right.
And so I discovered pen tablets
Mhm.
and started learning about programs that other digital artists were using because I would frequent DeviantArt and I would
Mhm.
see all this amazing digital artwork,
Yeah.
and I was like, I want to be able to do that. So I pestered my mom to
Mhm.
get me a
Get the
pen
tablet.
tablet. Yes. And she couldn't stand how much time I spent on the computer,
Mhm.
but I think that it all makes sense now.
It's like,
Uh
yeah, at least it led somewhere,
it
not just
did. Yeah,
yeah.
it definitely led somewhere.
Right.
So she helped me get my first one, and
Yeah.
I remember that I tried Corel Draw.
Yeah.
I tried so many like different programs because yeah, I didn't really have access to Adobe until
Mhm.
I was probably in college, which
Right.
I started college in 2009, just to give you an idea.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
so it's
so I would be working in these like really rudimentary programs, just like experimenting,
mhm.
doing my thing. And then a friend of mine introduced me to Paint Tool Sai, which
Mm.
is a Japanese drawing program. I'm pretty sure it's Japanese.
Yeah.
Don't come at me if I'm wrong. Um, but they introduced me to it because I had a very large online community, lots of
Okay.
online friends growing
Mhm.
up, and we would all like share what we were working on,
Yeah.
write stories together. And it was like as soon as I got into that program, something changed for me because it was a lot more intuitive. Now,
Mhm.
granted, you had to like dig and find like an English patch for
Yeah.
it, but got it done,
Uh-huh.
and I just played in that program for a long time.
Yeah. So is it? I guess I've never heard of this before, but is it like was it really popular on DeviantArt for those artists to use, or was it just one of
Yes, like
the?
in digital art circles,
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Yeah.
knew about Paint Tool
Okay.
Sai. And it was a lot more approachable
Mm-hmm.
than,
Yeah. Easier to use, like you said.
yeah. And especially nowadays, now that I have become comfortable with Adobe
Mm-hmm.
software,
Yeah.
I think back to those times, and younger me could never believe that I actually know what all the buttons do
Oh
now in
yeah,
the
and
programs.
Photoshop and
Yes.
Illustrator.
Yes. So so yeah, that program really changed my approach to digital art, and I was drawing all the time. I drew
Mm-hmm.
constantly.
And that was
Um
still you're drawing by hand, but it
but
was
with a
with the
pen
tablet.
tablet,
Okay.
yeah. And so every now and again, because a practice takes effort and
Mm-hmm.
patience, I would, yeah, take a pencil drawing, scan it in on
Yeah.
my giant old school scanner,
Right.
get it in there,
And then
and then work on top
yeah.
of it. And I remember how laborious that used to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Now it feels like nothing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, now it's because I've definitely, I mean, in my graphic design career or whatever, my experience is like I started with Photoshop. Photoshop was like my favorite program ever created. Well, I mean, I started with MS Paint actually, like, but eventually I got like a version of Photoshop from a friend that was like Photoshop 6 or something like that. That I would, one of the early versions of it. But so I've always been into Photoshop, but then I got into Illustrator and learned how to draw in that because I used to draw a lot when I was a kid by hand. But I don't think I was ever that good, or obviously you get better if you do it more. But my thing was like I liked using computers more than practicing drawing by hand. And then it's
Yeah.
like, well, I figured out you can create art on the computer without having to draw at all. So I kind of never developed that skill, unfortunately. I wish I had, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I still could, but every time I try to do it, it's I can't stick to the habit of, you know.
Yes, yeah, it's
But yeah.
definitely it's definitely a it is a practice.
Yeah, and I think I don't know something about it. It's like you just really have to love it. It's like drums too. It's like so I played bass for 20 years, so it's like I'm very good at the bass, and I want to play drums, but I don't love the drums enough to get good at it or
Yeah.
decent at it even.
Yeah.
It's like there's something about it I just don't. It's like it's not something I want to go back to and actually work at.
Right. And
I
I
don't
actually
know.
I had the opposite.
Yeah.
So I also loved Photoshop
Mhm.
whenever I started getting the hang of it and using it for illustration.
Mhm.
And I resisted Illustrator for so
Yeah.
long because there was something about like the mechanical nature of Illustrator and working in vectors and
Mhm.
using points.
Yeah, it's, like, very precise and,
Yeah,
like
it's very
whereas, like, when you're drawing by hand, like, nothing is you can't make a perfect circle,
no,
you know what I mean?
it's a very organic
Yeah.
approach.
Mhm.
And I had a coworker of mine or former coworker of mine
Mhm.
give me like a just like 3 hour long like boot camp
Yeah.
because I understood the more that I was doing graphic design work that I was going to need
Yeah,
to,
you're gonna have to mess with it
yeah, I
eventually.
was like, I'm going to need to understand how this works and how to build things in it and
Mhm.
make it not so hard on
Yeah.
myself to produce like clean graphics or what the
Mhm.
client wants. And so eventually, like, I didn't touch Adobe because I had it in school. Like, we just
Right.
had like an introductory course or whatever. But I didn't really touch it until I was closer to 28, and I'm 34 now.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna learn this. This is so
Yeah.
hard." But it finally clicked.
Mhm.
I did a couple projects that were manageable, and then
Mhm.
finally it clicked, and I was like,
Great.
"Oh,
I
okay,
mean, yeah.
maybe I can be a vector person."
Or Adobe person. That's
Yeah,
what the thing is now. It's like you have to be Adobe because there's nothing. They've cleaned everybody else out. I mean, or they
except
bought everyone else.
right, except for Affinity. Unless did they buy them out?
I
Please
don't
don't tell
know. What
me.
is? I don't know that I've heard of them. What do they
Okay,
do?
Affinity is a like Photoshop alternative
Okay,
who
I've
is
heard of
basically
GIMP. I don't. Have you tried GIMP? And I hate it.
yeah, GIMP. Some people are diehard
Yeah,
GIMP fans,
but
and
I
I'm
haven't heard
not.
of this one though.
I'm not gonna fault them for it.
Right.
But Affinity and
I mean, I think I have heard of this, but yeah, like I said, I've just been, I don't know. I'll never use anything but Photoshop unless it just goes away for some reason.
yes, well,
But
this goes out
yeah,
to
I'll have to check it
everybody
out.
who doesn't care for Adobe.
Right.
Affinity has programs, and they're releasing new ones
Similar.
all the
Hmm.
time that are on par with
Yeah.
Adobe programs, and they're a lot more they're
Affordable.
yes, they are a
Yeah.
lot more affordable, and they're one time pay. They
Okay.
don't have a
Yeah.
subscription.
That's
I'm
awesome.
hoping that they don't change that,
Hmm.
because, so many people are crushed under the weight
Yeah.
of subscription payments,
Right. Yeah.
and even on the lower tiers, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. It's insane, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you are a professional, it's really not that bad because I mean, hopefully you're making way more enough to justify it. You know what I mean? But a
Yes,
lot of
yes,
people,
ideally.
yeah, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
still,
but for people who are, like, curious about getting into
or if
digital
you're,
art, the Affinity might be
yeah,
more of the
better,
better option for
yeah,
them,
that's
a
interesting. I'll have
and,
to,
yeah, make a note of that.
I'm gonna write it down because like I said, I've been. I mean, I've recently had to. I left my job. I was at the news channel 4 for a long, long time. So I
Mhm.
just they had a we had a subscription through them that I would just use for
Yeah,
whatever
love when
else.
that happens.
But
Love when that
after I
happens.
left, of course, I'm like, ah, shit, I gotta pay for Adobe now.
Yeah.
And it's like it hasn't been as bad. I mean, like I said, I think I'm paying like $30 a month for
Mhm.
the whole package, which is not terrible. I don't know. I mean,
Was it is it
it's
just, Photoshop?
that's everything.
It is
Yeah.
everything?
I mean, and I got like it's not that's not the full price. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know. You can anybody if you just annoy them, they'll give you the lower price, pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to like go into the chat or and talk to
I
yeah,
have heard that
but
sometimes you can be like, "I'm canceling." They're like,
right.
"Wait, 3 free
Yeah,
months."
I mean they're very much I've only been having to do that for 2 years and I've never paid the full price. So it's like
Okay. Well, yes, I
yeah.
learned something today too.
Yeah,
Cause like,
it's
I had one person tell me about that, and I was like,
mhm.
"No way."
Yeah, I mean, it's like I remember, the old school, like, cable subscriptions were like that too, whenever you had to
You could
pay
haggle
for
over the
yeah,
price,
like,
yeah.
I had a girlfriend that would always every year, she would never pay full price for cable, always she would have to get on the phone with them and,
Mhm.
like yeah, like you said, threaten to cancel, and then they would give her the price that she wanted.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
like, they know, I mean, and not everybody's doing that anyway, so there's even if they have to give it to a few people,
Yeah, less
the
and less these
yeah.
days will you find anything like
Right,
that.
but
I find it hard to believe. So,
yeah,
yeah.
no, Adobe is definitely one, and because they always have sales anyways. I mean, most people will like every Black Friday you can get it for like half the price. So most people will do that like every Black Friday. That's when they re up. So
Yeah.
they're I think that they're not as I mean, it's outrageous for sure what they charge, but they do have a lot. I mean, you get a lot for what you're paying for. I mean,
Yes,
if
I
you get
agree.
the
I
full
mean,
package.
I
Yeah.
have the full suite,
Yeah.
and it is great
Yeah.
whenever I have something come up in a program that
Yeah.
on there that I haven't had to touch before,
Mhm.
and I
And
just
so
have
you
it.
just get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, so
Sorry
uh,
about my rant on
no, I mean that's interesting.
programs.
I don't get to talk about that stuff as much with. It's like I don't really know very many other graphic artists. So let's see. We can move on. Kind of. We talked a little bit about your college, but I wanted to ask about Cameron University and like what was it like going there, and I guess your degree was in fine art, or
Mhm.
So yeah, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So my time at Cameron University was a blast.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of growing pains
Yeah.
going through the arts program there, but it was a really small program,
Mhm.
which I was very fortunate to have the experience of. Because originally, when I graduated high school, I had considered going to OU
Mhm.
because I went there to do like an SAT prep,
Yeah.
and I saw the campus and I was like,
This
"Wow,
is like
it's
that's the
so big."
college experience.
Yeah, like it's so big here, and
Yeah.
maybe this could work. So I
Mhm.
almost moved to Norman way
Mhm.
earlier, but
Mhm.
then when I started digging into the finances and looking at the
Mhm.
cost of everything, I didn't have any support
Yeah.
going to school, so I had to figure it out. Which luckily, yeah, I was able to get Pell Grant for most of my
Mhm.
schooling. Um, but so I ended up deciding on going ahead and staying at
Yeah.
Cameron because it is one of I want to say it was either the second or third most affordable school,
Mm.
and it's an accredited university.
Yeah.
So I decided to stay after graduating high school and go there. And what what was super fun about it is I actually so my high school bestie had graduated 2 years before I
Mhm.
did, and when I started school, at Cameron, she ended up in my freshman class
Oh,
because she
nice.
decided to go to tech school for 2
Okay.
years instead of immediately starting college, and so I got to go through the program with her, and that was
Nice.
amazing. One of the most beautiful things.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Perfectly lined up somehow.
yes, very lined up,
Mhm.
and yeah, an experience that I feel so privileged to have had.
Mhm.
And, I think that through that program, while I, as I said earlier, resisted
Yeah.
a lot of the things that they were trying to teach
Yeah.
us in our, freshman, sophomore years, um, I really took to heart a lot of the practical lessons that they taught us
Mhm.
there, because they only had uh, four professors and our department head who also taught classes.
Mhm.
So it was only five professors in this tiny building that was probably maybe like two two or three of your houses
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
and it was just a hallway that
Mhm.
had like little
Like
rooms that you went
little
into.
tiny classrooms.
Yeah, like the painting studio had really high ceilings and like storage.
Mhm.
They did have a sculpture studio there, but it had not been well supported through the years by the time I got there.
Mhm.
And Professor Benson, who was the head of that program for a long time, was much older, so he wasn't doing as much. Like he used to do a
Mhm.
lot of like the casting. Like he would do
Yeah.
there were photos where they would do iron casting and stuff out there. Um, and my drawing class, uh, Kathy Leontis Warren was my teacher, and she really knows her stuff, and she, yeah, just grounded into us how important it was to, yeah, work on getting your proportions right. And
Mhm. Kind of.
sometimes I was really mad at her
Yeah.
because I was like, why do we even have to do
Yeah.
this? I just want to make what I want.
Yeah.
Art is supposed to be free and,
Mhm.
whatever,
Expressive. Yeah.
expressive. Um, but, I think too, so many students at that time, like in my particular freshman class,
Mhm.
we probably started out with like 30 students.
Mhm.
By week 2, we were down to 15.
Yeah.
And little did I know that that's what they call like, you know, weeding out,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
yeah, because that's how it always was. I have an associate's degree. I never got a full degree, but I still went to. It took me like 4 or 5 years to actually complete that degree. But
Mhm.
so it's like I would always so I started a lot of semesters, and it was always that thing. Is like by the first few weeks after it was like I remember going to the campus. I went to OCCC here in Oklahoma City, and the parking lot would be packed on the first 2 weeks, and then as the semester went on, it was easier to find parking
Yes,
every
yes.
time. Yeah.
Yes. And so I struggled a bit my first 2 years,
Hmm.
and I think part of it was because I wasn't aware that you can actually take a gap year after you
Oh
graduate high
yeah,
school.
yeah.
You could say that I'm a type A person.
Hmm.
I'm very like achievement motivated,
Hmm.
always was in high school, made straight A's. Um just worked really hard
Hmm.
because I wanted to go to school for what I wanted to go to it
Hmm.
for.
You
And
had like ideas in mind that you were gonna
yeah,
accomplish.
I had a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And so I think I could have probably done myself better by
Yeah.
having taking a year off, because I ended up dropping out for a
Oh
year
yeah.
and partying too much.
Hmm.
So, luckily I was able to bounce
Hmm.
back and get academic forgiveness
Yeah.
for like everything that I was going through,
Right.
because I just knew that I had made it halfway through,
Hmm.
and it was important to me that I finished. If
Yeah,
if I didn't
for
finish, I
sure.
knew I was just not going to have a good time, and I was going to be miserable
Yeah.
and not just not feel good about what I was doing with my life. So I went ahead and got back into the program, took it a lot more seriously,
Mhm.
and I graduated with good grades,
Yeah.
and really worked on myself, improved my artwork,
Yeah.
and was, starting to get people interested in my
Mhm.
work, and was looking outside of Lawton to start like thinking about like, well, where can I show my work?
Right, yeah.
Because the only places really in Lawton are the Leslie Powell Gallery, which
Mm.
is kind of a more, it's like an established gallery that kind
Mhm.
of for the longest time only showed like certain types of art.
Mhm.
And then I figured out like, oh, I can just uh I can show my work in tattoo shops if it's
Yeah.
there. So, and also it
Yeah.
means I'm not storing my paintings at my house and
Yeah.
they have
Like
somewhere to
have
be.
yeah, because there's like I mean I see it, you see it all the time like around Oklahoma City and stuff, but you go into like coffee shops and stuff like that and they have
Hmm.
art up that's for sale, but it's like yeah. But that's what I like about I mean that idea of just like having, a gallery, art hanging in just different places, like you said, a tattoo shop, and that's kind of like finding your own opportunities too, where it's like you don't have to have a traditional gallery to show your stuff.
No, you don't. And I can't remember exactly when it was that that clicked, but it was
Mhm.
also around the same time that I had discovered you could pay $20 for a giant piece of wood from Lowe's or Home
Mhm.
Depot, and get it cut down. So an 8 foot by
Mhm.
4 foot piece of wood
Yeah.
and have it cut down to the sizes that you want. And you can
Mhm.
get roughly like, depending on the sizes, you can get a lot of painting surfaces
Yeah.
out of it for $20.
Yeah.
And then all you got to do is put mounting hardware on the back.
Yeah.
And so I had,
Those are your canvases, and it's a
yes,
lot cheaper than
yes,
buying
but
regular canvases.
then I encountered another problem where I was like, okay, well suddenly I have all these paintings
Yeah,
that
too
like
many.
yes, so that that I'm like, I'm surrounded by them and I'm crowded by them
Mhm.
and most of my time out of the house and even part of like my senior year,
Mhm.
I did not live at home.
Yeah.
I ended up like I got kicked out of my house and it was a whole fiasco. I was
Yeah.
living with friends and then I lived with my at the time boyfriend and his mom,
Mhm.
which I'm very grateful to them because I was able to finish
Yeah.
college because I had a stable place to live.
Mhm.
But all of my artwork was following me around.
Right, where are you gonna put it?
Yeah, and so I was getting a tattoo um at was it I'm blanking on the name now, but I was getting a tattoo and I was
Mhm.
looking around at their walls and they were blank. And I was like, hey, do you think I could hang some of my work here?
Mhm.
And they were like, yeah, that'd be cool. And then I brought it in and they were like, whoa, we didn't expect this.
Yeah.
Like, and they were super stoked about it. And I think my paintings hung there for I don't know, several months. And one of the artists there eventually moved on and got his own shop.
Mhm.
And he hit me up and was like, hey, if you have any paintings,
Yeah.
and this was years and years later,
Oh,
like
wow.
way after I had graduated college. I was living in Oklahoma City at the time.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, you know what? I actually like need to clear out some space. So
Yeah.
I'll just bring some down and host them there. And
That's awesome.
yeah, he was super cool about it. And yeah, I would say that that kind of sums up my
Yeah.
college
For
experience is
sure,
like
that's awesome.
just experimenting not only with the art but also
Mhm.
like with life and
Yeah.
figuring things out and
I
um
like that though, especially, I mean, 'cause I never think about that, like, I never got into, like, visual art or, like, fine art like that, so it's like, but yeah, I mean, those are challenges that you have to figure out, I mean,
like while
where
being an artist, like while being
yeah.
a creative person, and I think that that lent itself to me finding solutions
Yeah.
and eventually being able to get out of Lawton
Mhm.
and improve my situation. And yeah, there's always alternatives. There's other ways of showing your work
Oh, yeah,
outside of the
yeah,
formal
I like
setting.
that.
And I encourage it because you
Mhm.
never know who you're going to meet or who you're
Yeah.
going to end up working with again.
Mhm.
And it's so important to get out in the world and do that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
There's something about that, like, I always think about this concept of, like, kind of finding your purpose or whatever, like, just as anyone, right? Like, if you're I always think of this, like, and this I'm getting back to your story, or I'm connecting it to that, but I
Mhm.
wanted to talk about, like,
Yeah.
if you're looking for a purpose, you go out into the world and you see what's missing or something that where it's like, where can you be of use? I mean, it could be anything, right? But and then you do that thing, and then that's fulfilling because you're able to insert yourself into a place. But like you are literally at a tattoo shop and looked around and be like, these these walls are empty. I can
Yeah, they
put
were just
stuff there,
red. That's
you
what I
know?
remember is they were just red,
Yeah.
and there was only 3 guys in there,
Hmm.
and it just was a very sparse
Yeah.
space, so it was, like, kind of uncomfortable, and I was like,
But yeah,
the thing
it's
that would
like
make me feel better is seeing some
yeah, it's
artwork on
like
the walls.
you just literally looked around and like, I could do something about this. You know?
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. I like to hear that for sure. This episode of Rhythm and Wit is brought to you by buymeacoffee.com/rhythm and wit, where you can go and make a $5 donation or possibly more to Rhythm and Wit. It is our way of raising money here on the podcast. And what you do is go on to buymeacoffee.com/rhythm and wit. Check out the link in the description of the video. And then what you do is you can make a donation, which is a cup of coffee. You can make a donation for 1 cup of coffee, which is $5, 10 cups of coffee if you can afford it, which would be amazing.
$50.
Yeah, so it kind of goes from there. And what you also do is when you make the donation, it will allow you to leave a message, and we will read your message here on the show, just like Don bought 3 coffees, and he says, "Stay caffeinated, fellas."
Hey.
Thanks,
do.
Don.
Yeah.
Claybar has a comment. You both rock for highlighting the local community. Keep on showing off what creativity OK has to offer.
All right.
So that's something we love to do.
You.
So,
Claybar?
yeah.
Claybar.
So thank you to those 2 donations. And then, yes, if you make your donation, we will shout out your message here on the channel.
Yeah.
So,
we'll say your name. It's super fun.
So, okay. So I kind of wanted to, let me think. I wanted to ask you about something that is screen printing. I know you're have done that. I don't know how much, but how did you get into screen printing in particular? Is that?
Yes, so, that's a good story
Yeah,
also.
good kind of transition maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So when I graduated college,
Mhm.
I wasn't sure
Yeah,
what I
where
was
you're
gonna
gonna
do.
work.
Yeah, because, I worked all sorts of odd
Yeah.
jobs. I was a janitor. I worked
Mhm.
at a yogurt shop. Um, I don't know. I would have multiple jobs at the
Right.
same time. I was an engraver. I worked at a GameStop.
Mhm.
I just did what I could. But after school, I I just didn't know what I was gonna do because I was like, there's nothing
Yeah, like
for
for an
me here.
artist. I mean, that's the thing is like if you have a degree in visual art and you're like, well, okay, you're doing that, but it's like that's not really a full-time job that can consistently pay bills and things like that.
Yeah, and basically everything that's there is like, you either end up going into the military or you work out at
Mhm.
Goodyear or one
Right.
of the other various plants that are
Yeah.
around the city. And I had actually, before I graduated, started coming up to Norman to go to a place called Dope Chapel. Well, it was called Downtown Sound at the
Mm.
time, but it eventually transitioned into Dope Chapel, which my friend Eric Piper became a part of, and
Mhm.
he's at Oscillator Press now with
Okay.
Jen O'Brien, who was also involved. So I started going up to that space
Mhm.
on the weekends and sneaking away from Lawton and discovering like there's this whole other world outside of my hometown
Mhm.
that is thriving. And there's artists, there's people that,
So, and where was that? Maybe you mentioned that, but I blanked it.
yes.
So, yeah, is it like around Lawton or what was it?
No, it was in Norman.
Oh, Norman.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
I
Maybe you
was,
said that and I just didn't even catch
yeah,
it.
I was sneaking
Okay,
away
yeah.
from
Lawton
Lawton.
to get to Norman,
Yeah,
right?
to get to
Is that
Norman.
how far is that of a drive? Because it's
Um,
like they're both about 30 minutes from here, right? Or Oklahoma City, but
yeah, so it's Oklahoma City,
yeah.
30 minutes to Norman, and then it's roughly like an hour
Oh,
if you
wow.
don't stop
Hmm.
to get to Lawton.
So, I don't know, yeah, because I've only gone to each of them from here, so I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Like the
Well,
distance between those 2 places, anyways.
yeah, well, also,
Yeah,
it's kind of like when you're driving, it's a good time to
yeah.
zone out and
Oh, yeah,
daydream,
I
right?
love
Yes, I love it too.
it.
But yeah, so I had been sneaking
Hmm.
away,
Hanging out in
hanging
Norman.
out in Norman, meeting people, started I was experimenting more with hip hop music and had my own little cartoon band, and I performed at a Dope Chapel event.
Okay.
And I knew from that moment, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do because I've found this thing. One way or another, I'm going to figure out a way to get up here.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric calls me one day and he's like, hey, so Jenna needs help at the print shop, which at the time was Bigfoot Creative.
Okay.
Would you want to come up and talk with her and see if it's something you'd be interested in? Phone call changed my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely changed my life. So I went up there, I met Jenna, and she was like, okay, cool. Like, when do you think you can start? And I was like, well, I got to figure out how to get up here.
Yeah.
One way or
Drive
another.
an hour every day to work.
Well, I think Eric kind of knew that I was looking to figure something out because he grew up in Lawton also and went to school at OU and found people and knew what was on the other side of getting out of Lawton. And so I figured out a way to get up there. It was a lot of like painful, hard moments because I was so broke. I had no money. I didn't, donating plasma, doing the whole bit.
Everything.
But made it up to Norman and started working at the print shop for shit wages.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so bad.
What year is this? Like 10 years ago, I guess.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
Yes.
I'm trying to put it together.
Yeah, around 10 years ago.
Yeah, like that time. Because I was actually, because I wanted to bring it up because I'm fascinated by this story. For one thing, because I used to work it was in screen printing. I never printed physical. I was like a graphic artist. I was more like the pre-press.
Yeah, the pre-press person.
And so the furthest I got into that, I would make the film to separate the art but then they took the film and made the screens and everything. But I was fascinated. I wish I try not to have regrets, but like I wish I had gotten more into the actual production of screen printing because that's something that like I could be doing that in my garage right now and doing shirts and things like that for people.
Well,
yeah.
Idea for a next guest. You should talk to Oscillator Press.
Yeah.
Because I mean they are a dynamic duo.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've known about them for a little while, but I don't know much about them. So yeah.
Yeah, incredible team and longtime friends of mine.
That's awesome.
They truly are two people that have changed my whole world and we've been friends and have worked together, collaborated together for over a decade. And I think
cool.
that's really incredible and very rare. And so, what was I saying?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah,
Had me flashing back. 2015.
Yeah.
So 2015.
So yeah, you were saying they weren't paying you shit.
Yeah. Well, this was Bigfoot Creative had a different owner.
Yeah, okay.
And Jenna was in the same boat. Jenna at that point had been there for a while. And, was really transparent with me about everything going on. And I was just like, you know what? Like it got me out of Lawton and this is an opportunity to like actually be around others more like myself. And so I learned screen printing from her and that kind of set me on the trajectory that I got on because I worked in that shop for about 2 years, 2.5 years. And then I got a little too big for my britches and applied for a huge commercial screen printing shop out in Midwest City. You may have heard of it, Century Martial Arts.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure I've applied there once or twice. Yes. never got an interview or anything. But
yes, infamous.
Yeah.
An infamous space.
I've heard of it,
and kind of amazing that it exists in Midwest City. I like to call it the Kung Fu Factory. That is my.
Did you work there?
I did. So I ended up getting the job. And I was commuting from Norman to Midwest City for about 3 months. And then I made the move to Oklahoma City and I lived here for about 5 years while I worked there. And
so yeah, you've been doing it a lot longer. I thought you had worked for Oscillator, but I wasn't sure it was that long. That field.
Well, it's timelines are really funny and they seem to run together. So I will set the record straight.
Yeah.
So I ended up at Century and when I tell you that really put me through the ringer because at that time they had it set up where it was like 10-hour days. You
Dang.
start at 6 a.m., you get off at 4:30 p.m. And then they would say optional overtime for Fridays, but more often than not,
You still
you
had
you
to.
were still there. But you would get off at like noon,
Mm.
and like it was very rough in the beginning, but man, I learned so much about screen printing so
Yeah.
fast, so fast. And this guy Daryl, who was their screen technician,
Mm-hmm.
the guy who burned all the screens and took the separations from the
Mm-hmm.
graphic artist,
Right.
and they worked together. One day he ended up I had been screen printing for them for a year, and I was on
Mm-hmm.
a manual press, so I was
Mm-hmm.
screen printing geese by hand.
Yeah.
um he comes over one day and he's like, I effing quit. You can have the job. Good luck. And me and him got along.
Yeah.
Um, but he was tired of them not listening to him. And he was kind of an old school screen printer,
Mm-hmm.
one of these biker dudes. And I guess nobody could really speak his language.
Yeah.
And so he left, and I ended up, taking over being the screen technician.
Okay.
And
Then you were in charge of making the screens, and how
yes,
did you? But you knew how to do that, right? I mean, you had done that before.
I had done it a
Yeah,
little
but
bit.
not as much as.
Not as much, because every day they, and the production sped up too. It was like
Yeah,
when I got
or got
there,
busier.
yeah, there were things that I was seeing that I thought could be better,
Mhm.
and I thought that I was going to be there for a long time.
Mhm.
I had a lot of ambition when I
Yeah.
first got there. And that job really helped me like understand discipline,
Mhm.
because I mean, you're surrounded by martial artists. I mean,
Oh
they
yeah,
would be
interesting. Yeah.
practicing in the warehouse. So it's kind of in the culture
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Even in the screen printing department. Um
Mhm.
and so I was seeing things that were like could be improved. So
Yeah.
I started like helping to fix things and make things better. There was all these like crazy like internal business things that happened. Like there was a merger, and there was like
Mhm.
I had a new boss, and then suddenly that boss left, and lots of stuff.
Mhm.
But I stuck it out, and got to see it transform a lot,
Mhm.
because I guess the screen technician before Daryl had been with them since they started, like
Mhm.
out of their garage.
Yeah.
Her name was Sylvia. I always talk about her when I talk about Century, because she basically set them up for years, like running and managing the floor, and getting the screens made, and having the films burned
Mhm.
and everything. Like you're basically like the center point
Mhm.
in that type of environment.
Mhm.
And she had gotten dementia, and so
Mm.
she eventually had to leave. But I ended up cleaning up everything that got left behind by
Mhm.
her, and I found all of her notes. Like I
Oh.
found a notebook where she had written out like all of the plans for like improving the space, and some of the people that were in that notebook were still working there.
Mm.
um and it was really incredible to see, because one, her handwriting was beautiful, but two, to see the foundation that she laid, and then uh, I took what she had written and improved
Used
upon
it.
it. Yeah,
That's
used
cool.
it, and helped bring it up a little bit
Yeah.
to the current century. um and it was a lot of work, but it taught me so much, and
Yeah.
all the people that I worked with were so wonderful, all walks of life. And eventually, though, it was getting to the point where my days were starting to bleed together really bad,
Mhm.
and it was the same thing every day.
Yeah. The
And
monotony. That's something that's like I wouldn't necessarily want to do that. I think because I that's one thing I hate. That's why I do what I do. Is like I don't do anything
mhm.
the same. It's always a different day for me. But no, I think. But I don't know. It's definitely a fascinating. Um, so what is it? I guess I wanted to ask about this or this specific question, but like, what is it about printing or screen printing that you like so much, or you found so like the most interesting? I guess.
It's very methodical.
Yeah.
And where like where I love painting is
Mm-hmm.
that it is very
Yeah.
expressive and free form. But in screen printing, it's the exact
Yeah.
opposite. It's very methodical. There is a process. And once you learn, like, you know, those core rules of
Mm-hmm.
printing, you can start to wiggle things
Yeah.
around and bend them, just like with any art
Mm-hmm.
form. Um, but my time at Century really like showed me like what you can do, like how much you can like stretch like the like capabilities of a screen.
Yeah.
One of the fun ones that I know is like on an automatic press. You know, they have the tables that you can slide
Mm-hmm.
off and on. Well, if you have a design that maybe it on your table it comes off like it's just like you have it burned in a certain location so you can't move the
Mm-hmm.
screen,
Right.
but you can move the table, right? You move it as high as you can, but you can't, there's just that little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually, on some automatic machines, you can reverse the table and it'll give you that extra little
Hmm.
thing. Yeah,
Just
it's
little tricks like
just a
that.
little,
Yeah.
it's like just like a little hair because like maybe you didn't
Right.
measure like how far the placement was down off the
Mm-hmm.
screen, or like the designer wasn't sure
Mm-hmm.
because it might have been a rush job or something.
Right.
But I always thought that was fun, is you can reverse the table and get
Yeah.
just that little extra like quarter inch
Mm-hmm.
that you need.
That's
um,
interesting. I think that's something I liked about it too, is like the creativity within that kind of production process is like
mhm.
you're always having to. So I think with graphic design in general is similar to this, but it's like you're always having to solve problems. You know, it's like
Yes.
there's a problem. It's like this isn't working right. How do you make it happen? You know, because you have to get the job done one way or the other.
Yes,
So
yeah,
it's yeah,
and there's always like, yeah, some random problem that
yeah,
like you can't explain, but you have to
yeah.
like go with it or figure out like a way to work around it.
Hmm.
Um and yeah.
That's something I've always thought about with graphic design. It's more of a problem solving job than anything else. Like
Yes, it is.
just design in general, I think
Mhm.
in a lot of ways. Which is like why I love it, and like why I like kind of production of all kinds as far as like video production or whatever audio production when you're recording music. It's like there's all these like you have a goal that you want to get to, but it's like there's a million different ways to achieve that goal
Yes,
in
there
some
are.
instances.
Yes,
But
yes, that's
yeah,
true.
um, so yeah, and then I guess did you ever go back to work for Oscillator? Because I wanted to get back to them in
Yes, so I
particular.
did for a little while.
Okay.
So I left Century
Mm-hmm.
and I worked at some mid-sized shops here in
Yeah.
Oklahoma City, and then the Opolis came
Yeah.
up as being for sale.
Mm-hmm. That's when they
Um,
took it over as the co-op, right? Yeah.
yes, and so I was part of that
Oh,
initial
okay.
group. When I started out, I said, I'll help you guys, like I'll help get a video together and all
Mm-hmm.
that, and
Do some media
do some
stuff.
media, and then I ended up in the
That's
group,
cool. I
which
didn't know that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So I ended up moving back to help with
Yeah.
that. And when Lane and I were trying to figure out, okay, well, we need to move down there. It makes sense to get down there. What are we gonna do? Eric and Jenna
Yeah.
coming through again. They were like, "Hey, so we know that y'all are for sure getting the Opolis. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what if y'all moved in with us? I think it would be beneficial for everyone to get back on their feet.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all going to be downtown anyway, so why not?" And
Mm-hmm.
Lane and I immediately said yes, and we moved in. And it's been wonderful. So I did work for them when I
Mm-hmm.
came back because I doing doing a co-op and a startup of any
Yeah.
kind. You kind of, you're wanting to get like a handle on it as best you can
Mm-hmm.
and not have like other distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but at the same time, I also was like, I know that I'm gonna need like some form of income while we're doing this.
Yeah.
So I worked
It
for
made the most
Oscillator.
sense, yeah, because
Yeah.
they're literally is it next door, right? And they're connected,
Yeah,
or
it's pretty much like,
they're
so this is
very
Opolis's
close,
back
yeah.
patio, and then Oscillator's like
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, yeah. I always
Uh
knew that, but yeah, it was like I said, even the Opolis. I mean, I remember whenever the co-op took over and bought it or whatever. But it's like I remember when that happened, I was so happy because I love that place. I mean, for you know, 2 decades or more. I don't know how long it's been around, but from what I remember, it's like it was kind of like the staple of music in Norman.
yes,
But
yes.
yeah, it was I've been fascinated with that, and then the co-op too. It's like I want to talk to them eventually, or talk to the people that were kind of and get that whole story even of
Yes, absolutely.
them.
And you
So
should,
yeah,
because I mean it's
eventually I will. It's like
yeah.
just as far as like figuring it out, but I've been wanting to do that, like do a video or something like that with them
Yes.
sometime.
Yes, and
Yeah,
I know it takes time because I
yeah,
know that you're busy. Like we're
yeah.
all busy.
It would
They're
be
busy. Like that it's
yeah.
like it's so crazy.
But
This is a crazy time to be like doing creative businesses.
mhm.
Um but here we are
Yeah.
and we're doing it and happy to be doing it. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, came
Yeah.
down, was part of the crew that took
That's
on
awesome.
Neopolis. And so I worked for Oscillator temporarily,
Mhm.
probably the first like couple months we were back, like
Mhm.
into the holidays. But I picked up a bunch of random jobs.
Yeah.
I started working for Chase again,
Mhm.
because I had taken some time off from that. And um, then I picked up a screen printing job working out of this guy's garage.
Yeah. I'm familiar with those operations.
Yes, yeah. Which I mean, he's a great guy, and
Yeah.
he's really just passionate about screen printing
Mhm.
and loves the process. And I did that for a little while, but at a certain point, I was doing like 5 jobs,
Yeah,
and
just different
it
things
was
for
unsustainable. And so I gradually lessened those, and this is over the course of a 2-year period,
Mhm.
that all this is happening. And then I ended up doing government contracting for a little
Mhm.
bit, which was really random.
Yeah.
um and then yeah, ended up at Uncanny Art House, where I could
Mhm.
be there full time.
That's great.
So my time at Oscillator was very brief,
Yeah.
but it did feel so good to be back in that shop
Yeah.
and seeing how they are growing it and changing it.
Mhm.
Because I mean, like, having been part of the downtown for over a decade, like, you got a rep to keep, you
Yeah.
know.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Mhm.
I definitely knew that you. I didn't know how involved you were with them, but I knew it was something. So I definitely just wanted to touch on that a little bit. So yeah, let's talk about Uncanny. I guess this is just going very
Yeah, this is
linearly,
gonna be a linear show
which I
today.
didn't even really plan it, but like this is exactly how I had written my notes out.
Love it.
But so yeah, Uncanny Art House. I mean, you had mentioned. I guess I don't know if you answered this, but how did you initially get involved with them? Because you had come in after. When did you come in? After they already had the big space? Oh,
No.
okay. Or you were
So
in part of the alley.
yes.
Okay.
So I had sort of started helping with the alley space,
Mhm.
just with like helping them prep for events.
Mhm.
I painted the entire upstairs white. That seems
Oh.
to be a job that always falls on me. I don't know
So,
how.
yeah, I saw your post about having to repaint over the graphic and the big tattoo thing y'all had.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It's like it seems like a lot of work.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's very meditative when you get down
Mhm.
to it, but I did not know that the action of painting the entire alley space
Yeah.
white would inevitably end up being me also
Yeah.
doing this in the bigger space, because I'm
Yeah.
I'm still working on walls. Like I
Yeah.
basically separated it into projects, like
Mhm.
sections. So did the photo studio first and gradually worked my
Yeah.
way up, um because also there's like really high ceilings, so it's like hard to reach the top parts of
Mm-hmm.
the wall. So excuse me, I helped paint the alley
Mm-hmm.
space to get it ready for when they were having was it their first art walk? I can't remember. It all blurs together to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had done that, and just in general, talking with Chase a lot about it because it's something that he was really focused on.
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the later part of them having the alley space, he really started talking about like, well, what, this isn't exactly financially
Mm-hmm.
sustainable. The three of them wanted to turn it into a functional photo studio and business,
Mm-hmm.
but it just wasn't going that direction, and it had been several months.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, well, like what if we find somebody to help us like get this off the ground? And then in walks Jennifer Burwell, that beautiful soul, because she immediately, she fell in love with the alley space, and she started getting to know us. And she was like, you know what if I just sponsor y'all to get this going and we can figure it out? Like, she just is very passionate
Mm-hmm.
about creating spaces and investing in artists.
Mm-hmm.
And so the one thing she said though was, yeah, y'all are gonna have to move.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't gonna work
That
because
space is so weirdly,
it
yeah,
was
it's
weird.
hard to do anything in there, but yeah, like I remember, yeah, the thing I went to once was the music, and it was just there's a few seats over here and a few over here, but it's like it wasn't really set up to have a performance at
No,
all.
it was very tough. It's
Yeah,
very tough.
for sure.
But her and Anatova Neches, who is someone I've worked with in the past on creative projects, also came
Mm-hmm.
on and wanted to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's eventually how we ended up in the space that we're in
Yeah.
now, is with Jennifer and Anatova's support.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's great.
yeah, we got it all moved over there. It was really funny moving everything out of the alley space because we had to go down those stairs and
Yeah.
everything. But
Luckily, it wasn't that far, so it's like across the street.
yeah, no, it wasn't that
Yeah,
bad. But
but
man, it
still,
was like, I can remember the last night in there,
yeah.
and we were just checking to make sure that we got everything out, and then
Mm-hmm.
I looked up at the ceiling, and we had installed these like outlet bulbs that you can, like, you
Oh,
can plug
okay.
things into and
Yeah.
run. I was like, Chase, we can't leave those.
Gotta go.
We spent money on those. We got to
Yeah.
get them, and so he's like going down the hallway, like picking them all down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very grateful for how, all the things that led
Mm-hmm.
up to being here now, because I wake up every day and I don't feel dread.
Yeah, it's like you have a stable, full-time job, right? Is going there to work every day.
Mhm.
And when did the new space open? I was just curious.
It opened
It's only been like a year, right?
yeah, just over a year. So
Okay.
we opened in September of 2024 in the new
Mm-hmm.
space, and I want to say our birthday is like the 14th. Like, so
Yeah.
September 14th, I believe, is the
Fun.
actual day.
Yeah.
But we've just had so much going on. I feel like we didn't even get a chance to really like celebrate it. And like
Yeah.
we've talked with people that we're close to about it and being like, yeah, it's our 1 year, and everyone's like, why aren't you having a party? And you're
Yeah,
like,
it's like there's
we're
too much to
we're
do.
already throwing parties.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, yeah, but because that's something I wanted to ask was like, how often do you host new exhibitions and things like that, or how many have you had?
Okay, so this year we have hosted over a dozen.
Okay.
So the month of April was kind of crazy because I feel like we had like 3 shows in 1 month. We had a special event with Neocella. Then it was the Arts, Technology, and Culture BFA show, and then it was NMF, which was a
Yeah.
photography show.
Okay.
So we had a very dense April. So that's why I say it was over a dozen, because I think
Yeah, at
yeah,
least once a month though. Is that
yeah,
kind of the general?
yeah, that's the general schedule.
Mhm.
And next year we actually have two 2-month long shows.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
so we'll have one.
Kind
Well,
of. Yeah.
it actually might be 3, because we're gonna have the David Lynch show
Mm-hmm.
January, February, which I can touch on later, which is very exciting. And then June, July is a like modern, like new sculpture show where we're gonna have some prominent sculptors bring in some large works. I don't know how it's gonna
Yeah.
happen, but we're gonna figure it
How are you
out.
gonna get them inside the
Yeah,
place?
yeah. Well, I feel like it's gonna be a matter of assembling, like
Okay.
bringing them in parts and
Yeah.
assembling them on
Okay.
site. So we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And then end of the year is our art soup, which
Mm.
our first one was just last year, but we had such a positive response by having a show where it's kind of like anybody, everybody who's talked to us over the year
Yeah.
has an opportunity to show with us. And we've met new artists
Mm-hmm.
through that specific show. So this
Yeah.
year we made it 2 month long.
Okay.
Um,
So that's like a group show of different, just all
mhm.
kinds of different people.
Yeah, all
Is there a
kinds.
theme or just any art,
It's just
anyone?
anything. Like, we did have somebody submit a can of soup,
Yeah.
which I thought was
Just oh
amazing.
yeah, that'd be a
Um,
fun idea for sure.
yeah, but it's really just
Yeah.
giving
The
everyone.
literal, yeah, I mean it's
It's
soup,
art
right?
soup. Yeah, it's art soup.
That's
It's
awesome.
giving everyone an
Yeah. I love
opportunity to
that.
show and yeah, hopefully meet other
Yeah,
artists,
that's
new people that they
mhm.
haven't met before. Our September show was how we met those artists, was
Yeah.
because they submitted.
Right.
So and then they got to work together on that show.
Mhm.
So, I'm wondering who we will find through
Yeah.
this one.
I like that a lot. That's
Mhm.
something that Mycelium Gallery, they do every month. They have a big group art show. They found that's like the most successful type of show that they can do regularly, and
Mhm.
it gets like yeah, and like you said, I love it too because always new artists coming in and submitting and getting to show at Mycelium Gallery. So
Yeah.
that's a question I had about Uncanny. Do you guys host like, I mean, as far as like your regular, is there like wall space people can apply for or anything like that, or is it just you guys just do
We just do
shows? Okay.
rotating shows. Like, it's a balance of curation
Yeah.
and open calls. Um, so we kind of like sprinkle them intermittently back and forth,
Mhm.
or try to anyway. I was kind of floored because yeah, I found out a couple days ago that we are all booked out until
Yeah.
end of next year. So that's going to be interesting.
Mhm.
And figuring out how and what all is going to happen next year, because
Mhm.
we're always open to having um events,
Mhm.
which, like, some of these things, we book on our own, and we also have our recurring program, but we're also starting to get approached more by different types of creatives about
Mhm.
having events in the
Yeah.
space. And I feel like with Reweathering America,
Mhm.
that show definitely left an impression, and
Yeah.
people have been contacting me about,
Yeah.
like, wanting to do,
Different
like,
things
what
like
can I
that.
do in
Yeah.
there, like, and it's really exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I definitely wanted to talk about that a little bit. Because I mean, there's a whole video about it that I made that
Mhm.
people can watch. But that's how you and I met, was through that production, because I was friends with Jennifer Johnson, who is the director and creator, one of the creators of that. But yeah, what was it like? You want to talk about how that whole process went a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, totally. And I mean, Jennifer tells the story well and
Yeah.
keeps it very concise.
Yeah.
But I mean, we literally just met at
Yeah.
4:05 one evening.
So
She was
yeah, you guys you guys are just both, you're both Norman people, so
Yeah,
yeah,
we just
you
ended
just
up being in the same room
right.
together, and I can't remember, like, how we got on the topic of it, but we were talking about comedy,
Yeah.
and she had mentioned James Neem,
Mhm.
and I've known James a long time. He's a really good friend of mine.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, I know James, like,
Yeah.
this is fantastic, like, what all have you been up to, because
Mhm.
it's really nice when you meet, like, a mutual friend that
Yeah.
you had no idea that they knew each other or anything. and we just got to talking about comedy.
Mhm.
And I said to her, I was like, I would just love to see, a sketch comedy
Yeah.
show here, because I had the opportunity to be in
You're
one,
right.
having never done anything like that before, and it was a blast. And I was just like, I just feel like it's something that Norman needs right now.
Mhm.
And she was like, okay. And she like, I expected nothing to
Yeah.
come of it, because I was working with her on having comedy nights at the Opolis for
Mhm.
a little
Yeah,
while.
yeah, I remember when she was doing that for sure, and so
Yeah.
you were a part of that or, producing that, with as well?
Yeah, yeah. Like I was just like,
Helping out.
I'm here working at this space, and like we've
Mhm.
got slots to fill, so like why don't we try doing
Yeah.
an open mic? We could try doing some comedy here. Because I had attended one of hers
Mhm.
at Prohibition
Yeah, yeah.
and really enjoyed it. And so I was like, well, let's give it a try. So
Mhm.
she did a couple of those,
Yeah.
but she kept asking me about the sketch comedy. Like
Mhm.
every time I would see her, she'd be like, "So I was thinking about, you know,
But yeah, so originally, I mean, you had brought it up to her, and then at your first meeting, right? But then she was really the one that made it a thing,
yes,
right?
yes."
Because she
And
kept thinking about it and
she kept thinking about it, and
figuring out what it was.
whenever we were running into each other, she has a very creative spirit, and I love that she's not afraid to ask questions and is very like forward.
Mhm.
I appreciate that so much about her. And she would just like talk to me about it and was just kind of mulling it over. And then one day, she called me. I was on
Mhm.
my way home from the contract job,
Mhm.
and she was like, "So I'm gonna sound crazy, but I think I want to do this. And how long do you
Yeah.
think it would actually take to plan this out and accomplish it? Uh, I've been talking with some other comedians,
Mhm.
and I talked to James to see what he thought, and he
Mhm.
said 6 months, and I said, don't listen to him. I said, don't listen to
Yeah,
him.
because you guys, I mean, I remember you told me it was like 9 months, I think, originally. I
Yes.
mean, ultimately.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
altogether, it was nine
Yeah.
months. Because like I sort of have, and what I've developed over the years of like working in DIY spaces
Mhm.
and in collaborative groups is like breaking everything into chunks. And so when we were on the phone, I told her, uh you have the development phase where
Yeah.
like you come up with your concept, you get some, you do like the story bubbles,
Mhm.
you start plotting out like what this narrative is going to be.
Mhm.
Then you have the writing, then you have the first draft, and you're fine tuning it. And while at the same time, like once you get to that point, then you're starting, who your characters are going to be.
Mhm.
You're starting to reach out to people to find who your actors are going to be. Um and then once you nail them down, then it's figuring out and coordinating across 8 people
Yeah.
a
That's
schedule where
tough.
you can rehearse,
Mhm.
and or building in that sometimes people can't make it to a rehearsal,
Mhm.
but can you trust them enough
Yeah.
to go over their lines, or at least like be familiar enough with it where they can improv?
Mhm.
Because I mean that's something that comedians, I feel like,
Yeah.
mostly can handle very well.
Yeah.
Um and and then and I was like, of course your actors are going to have revisions too. Like
Mhm.
they're going to read something and be like, I think this would be better.
Yeah.
So like,
So you're always, yeah, constantly rewriting
yeah,
even.
yeah, like you're going to like, don't be beholden to your script.
Yeah.
Your script is the template,
Mhm.
and it informs like how you're moving into the next
Right.
scene. And like, because like when you get your actors, that's when it comes alive, and
Mhm.
it gives the show its personality.
Mhm.
And so I was like, yeah. And then it's basically showtime. You've had
Mhm.
your rehearsal time, and then it's going to be, I was like, before you know it, we're going to get to the 3 days before where we're starting to install and set up the
Yeah.
stage and how the space is going to be laid out. And I mean, they came into Uncanny several times over the course of 9 months.
Mhm.
Heather had her measuring tape out, and she was
Yeah.
just like, Jennifer, come help me. And like was like, measuring, like, I think we can fit this many chairs and
Yeah.
everything. And yeah, like I just encouraged Jennifer and Heather, because
Mhm.
when Jennifer introduced me to Heather, I was like, okay, this is a great team.
Mhm.
And I just told them, I was like, you guys focus on the development.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get to a certain point, then you can start sending me like photos or videos from like the stuff you're doing. I was like, I don't care. Like, don't think too hard about it. I was
Right.
like, if you're working on a prop, send me a picture of a prop and I will share it, and I
Yeah.
will set up all the different events and pages
Mm-hmm.
and serve that function as part of
Yeah,
this
you're like
production.
handling logistically, even I'm sure, like with
Yes.
the whatever needs to be done there, but then they're kind of more on the artistic side.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, and Jennifer told me that from her day job, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
skills that she learned there actually helped her
Mm-hmm.
with this
Yeah,
production.
especially because I know that she's like in management or something, but like that's like with scheduling, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something I've kind of learned from my limited exposure in like film production or whatever. It's like scheduling is probably the number one hardest thing
Mm-hmm.
with when you're, like you said, dealing with so many actors and crew
Yes.
members.
So many moving
Yeah.
parts. And when I would talk with people about it, I would say I was a producer for the show
Mhm.
because it was really like helping to
Yeah.
inform logistical decisions,
Mhm.
and then them coming to me being like, hey, we have this lighting guy, how
Right.
is that going to work?
Yeah.
Or like, how is having Mike Hosty here going to work? Like,
Mhm.
where are we going to set him up? And stuff like that. So all around, really great communication between all of
Yeah.
us. I really enjoyed working with them. I mean, it was an incredible, like, that's the first sold out show that we've had. And so I'm blown away.
Insane. Yeah, it was super fun. Like it really, and from my perspective, I mean, 'cause I saw a little bit about, I was there for like 2 rehearsals and talked to a bunch of you guys about it, and so I got to see a little bit of the pre-production or before the actual production. But then when I saw the show, it was like kind of way better than I even thought it was gonna be. Just I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's hard. It's hard during the rehearsals
Yeah,
to
it's,
like see
because
it.
I saw a bunch of scenes. I'm like, okay, these are funny, but it's like I don't really know what the story is. It's
Yeah,
like
no, because you're
you
just
couldn't
seeing it in
really figure it
parts.
out.
Yeah, you're just
But
seeing it in parts, and I didn't even
yeah,
really know what was going on
yeah,
because like I had like read like one of the like third
yeah,
iterations of the
early draft
of
of the
the
script.
script, and I was like, okay, so we're doing Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
something is happening. But then when we finally had the show, I was like,
Yeah.
I see
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, like all the little details, which
Yeah, everything it came together so well, I think, and like everyone involved was so good. I mean, all the actors and comics and everyone's so funny,
mm-hmm.
and like it even looked so good. Like I said, even because would see all these little pieces of props and stuff like that at the rehearsals.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's like, what is this trash?
But yeah,
it has an important function.
on the end of at the actual show, it was like, wow, this is actually really effective. I think for everything that they did.
Yes, and
Especially, I think it came down to a lot of the lighting effects too.
Yes,
it's like that
the lighting.
really
Yeah,
helped.
that was the very last thing. I was like, y'all need to like figure out your blocking and like where everything is, and then I will light this. Because I really like the biggest part that I handled for the physical show was once all of the props got there, with all the set pieces, everything that was going to happen during the show. I took over being like, okay, here I will help set dress to prepare for like what this is going to look like to the audience, like with the lighting and working with the lighting guy, who was also really fun. I was like, dang, I went back and I had I documented the event, and I was like watching the lights, and I was like,
Yeah, no,
wow.
that's something I noticed. I remember the sound. I mean, obviously the sound effects was Mike Hosty is
Yeah.
incredible with that. And then, but yeah, everything like because that's something about like something I kind of am learning more and more about, like as far as like any kind of production. Like I'm focused a lot on film and stuff, so or any kind of video. But it's like the lighting is so key to everything, to making anything look good. And it's like, yeah, it's something about that.
Yeah, and you just don't think about it until like, you play with the light and you try different things, and then you find something where it's like, ooh, I like the way that cast a shadow there, or that's the right temperature of light,
For sure.
And I'm no expert by any
Yeah,
means,
that's
but
something that's like that's what I was saying. Like, lighting has always scared me. Like, I
yeah.
don't want to, like, I don't want to have to learn how to. It's like I couldn't understand and wrap my head around like 3-point lighting for so long. But
Mhm.
now I get it now. But it's still,
Yeah, I've picked up a couple
it's
things
still
being around
tough,
photographers,
right?
and it's helped so much. Like now though, you have the curse of like
Yeah,
when you see something that's
yeah,
badly lit, you're like, oh my god, are they
yeah,
gonna fix that? Are they gonna fix that? Are they gonna
yeah.
fix that?
But I don't know. But I think that is one of the keys. Like, my point was like lighting is one of the keys to having something look really good and professional even. So I think that was very, very helpful and well done for you guys' show.
Yeah, thank you.
uh,
Yeah, I feel like everybody was so happy
yeah.
after the fact, like from the audience to the crew members.
Hmm.
Everyone was just thrilled because I know that a lot of the actors were sweating bullets because they were like, huh, huh, like it's showtime, it's happening, and with
Yeah.
comics, it's like they're used to one type of
Right.
environment where
Hmm.
like they know they might get heckled or whatever,
Right.
but this is more structured.
Yeah. It's a lot different for sure. But not that everyone did such a good job.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, well, I'm glad you came.
yeah, I definitely wouldn't have missed that. Like I said, and now, I mean, I can't wait to see what the next thing you guys do. Hopefully, with Jennifer and them, because is there any plans? I mean, you don't have to say anything you're not ready to say, but
Well, I mean, we've
still just maybe
definitely.
talking about stuff.
I know that they're still resting.
Yeah, still recovering.
Yeah, still
'Cause that was
recovering.
only what, a month ago or
Yeah,
two.
yeah, it was just a little over a month ago,
Yeah,
and we had chatted about,
yeah.
like, well, what does this look like after it's all over?
Hmm.
Like, uh, can it
Yeah,
happen
what's the
again?
next thing too?
Yeah, which
Yeah,
which I encouraged, and I don't know for sure
yeah.
what will end up happening, but I was like, now you've written the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
The
this is
show exists, and
yeah,
it's an original concept. I mean, it's
yeah,
obviously inspired by a lot of different things, but it's like, you know,
yeah, but the show is written,
right?
and you can think of this first one as like the sketch.
Yeah.
And the next one, if you decide to do it again, you might not have the same
Hmm.
cast, but you can build upon it.
Yeah.
And I would love to, because I think sometimes for the more developed like show world and like
Hmm.
theater and acting and stuff, yeah, there are people who produce shows that are extremely polished. They've got
Hmm.
all the props, all the costumes. It's all well written. They've had 2 years to rehearse,
Yeah.
But I think in DIY settings, especially like this, like it's more about um giving it that first go, seeing how it feels. It's like, do I like doing this?
Hmm.
And if it's a yes, then it's like, okay, so I've produced this hour-long show.
Hmm.
I can do it again. But then build upon it. Like
Hmm.
maybe, maybe you improve the props the next time
Yeah.
around, or you have like a plan to like store them, or
Right.
like
Or it's, I mean, I always think about with anything that I've ever done, as far as like that's even remotely like that. I mean, where it's like even recording an EP for a band, it's like every time you do it, you're hopefully the next one's going to be better than the last one because you've tried so many things, take what works and change what didn't, make
yeah.
improve upon certain things. So,
Yeah, and it's the same with this type of format.
yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of things that maybe didn't go as well as they wanted to, and maybe who knows, but it's like, okay, we'll do that differently next time. So yeah,
Yeah, and
try
I mean,
something else.
overall, like they were just so thrilled
Hmm.
to see everybody come together, because that's what show
Yeah,
business does to you. Like
yeah.
if you're on, like, showtime starts at 8 o'clock,
Hmm.
once that countdown starts, like you just gotta go.
You gotta get it done.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta get it done,
for
or
sure.
everyone's gonna like be like, well,
Yeah.
is the show happening or what?
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. I definitely would like to see some more stuff like that because that's definitely, like you were saying. I mean, even in Oklahoma City, you don't see that kind of stuff as much as I'd like.
Yes,
Kind
I
of,
want
yeah,
more. Yeah.
original ideas and bigger productions like that. So yeah, so definitely look forward to seeing more of that. I kind of wanted to jump topics a little bit, and well, similar. I mean, it's still kind of flowing nicely, but you mentioned James Nim earlier, and well, his thing is called Robot Save City. And I know I saw that you've done a couple of things with them, but I wanted to first ask, how did you and James meet?
So I met James through the Cowboy Bebop art show.
Okay, yeah, because he was doing a lot of those. He still does curated art shows.
Yeah, the next one is on November 8th. Yeah, it's a Samurai Champloo this
Mhm.
time. But I met him at the
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop one. We became instant friends. Started hanging out more. And he introduced me to OKC comedy. I
Yeah.
started meeting more of his friends and people that he would perform with, and I was fascinated by the whole thing because they're all a bunch of wild animals. Maybe not so much now. I feel like
Right.
they've calmed down quite a
Well,
bit.
there's just new ones now.
Yeah, there are just
Like,
new
cause
ones
I
now.
know a lot of his crew, and that I wasn't in the comedy scene at all. Like, I've known James similarly to you. I think I met James at one of those art shows because I mean, it was always at Speakeasy, which I was always at. I mean, hanging out there, and I always loved art, so it's like anytime there was an art show, I'd try to make it out. But yeah, I wasn't into that comedy scene. Like, I had known, I think I had seen Brad Chad Porter years and years ago one time, and 'cause I knew a couple of local comics. Because as a musician, it was like we're somewhat adjacent, but
Yes,
yeah.
and Brad Chad is a hoot. He really
Yeah,
is.
yeah, I love Brad.
Yeah. There was a live stream that I
Oh
did for
yeah,
Robot
yeah.
Safe
That's what
City.
I was gonna bring that up for
Yes,
sure.
yeah, and after the stream was over, because I think it was supposed to end at like 9 o'clock. Brad Chad stays on the phone with me for
Yeah.
2 hours,
Wow.
and we're just talking
Just
about
hanging
life
out,
and just
yeah.
talking
Because that
about.
was during the pandemic, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was during the pandemic, so we're just talking about everything going on, and I thought it was so cool, because like him and Sean, who used to work out at Rodeo Cinema, he does VHS
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. He is, yeah,
chill.
filmmaker guy. Well, I don't know if he is, but I know
But
exactly who it
he's, I
is.
mean, he's a film guy.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
don't know if he's a filmmaker, but I know, yeah,
yeah, no,
VHL,
he's super,
VHS.
super versed in film. Love talking to him, but he
Uh-huh.
actually, he came up with this idea for me to make a little advertisement for Rodeo Cinema.
Mhm.
And so I decided to be a rodeo clown. And that's where the media hacking clown of the
Oh,
Midwest comes
okay.
from.
That's
Is
awesome.
I had produced this ad
Uh-huh.
for Rodeo Cinema out in the
Yeah, stockyards.
yeah, the
Yeah, yeah.
stockyards, out in the stockyards. And they played that ad for a long time
Wow.
before it got taken under new
Yeah.
ownership. And last year before last, I had somebody come through the door at Opolis, and they kept looking at me funny, and then they came over eventually, and they were like, "So this is a weird question. Are you the rodeo clown?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god,
It's the first time
$1 million winner!
yeah,
Like $1 million
you were
winner!"
recognized.
Yeah, like I was like, "You did it."
That's awesome.
But yeah, Brad Chad Porter,
Yeah.
great influence on
Amazing.
me, and yeah,
Yeah,
I've
but yeah, that his James and Brad's crew was like, we always talk about them. They're kind of like the old guard as far as, I mean, they've been doing
yes,
comedy here for, well over a decade, or if not two.
mm-hmm,
And they were like that was the comedy community, but now it's like there's definitely, because they're still doing stuff. A lot of them are retired, or they've said they retired and they come back.
yes,
But
like somebody,
yeah.
because I know he's gonna watch this.
But yeah, but yeah, so a lot of them are still around, but there's all these, now there's like several new pockets of comedy
Yes,
communities and groups.
yes, and I'm starting to meet
Yeah.
them, and I like it makes me so happy because
Mhm.
I remember running around to different open mics,
Mhm.
going to the Looney Bin
Yeah.
before it closed. And I just find it a very fascinating medium because a lot of people, I think, take comedy for granted.
Yeah.
Or they immediately hate on it because they're just like, it's just some person up there just talking shit. Well, there's a little bit more nuance. If you're good at it, there's a little bit more nuance than that.
But I mean, that's just human beings. Everyone's just walking around talking shit. But
Yes, but comedians
they turn it into an art.
Yes, they are distilling the public discourse, or like the public discomfort, and channeling it in a way that makes people laugh or makes them upset. I think it goes both ways.
But still, it's still a reaction. That's
yes.
That's what Nick always says. It's like, as long as you're reacting, that's the key. Really.
Yeah, that is the key.
I mean, because you can do something with a reaction. I mean, you can either lean into it or change what you're doing. But I don't know. I've never practiced or tried it myself, but I've always said to people that I would. I don't know that I ever really will. I should. I think because I think people should try it.
Yes,
I don't know.
I would encourage it. I mean, I encourage people to do a lot of things. But getting up there and trying to even just stand at a microphone for 5 minutes,
it's hard.
It is hard. I'm in disbelief at everybody who can do that.
For sure.
Because to get up there with maybe not necessarily the goal of making someone laugh, but needing to be coherent in a way where people are following what you're saying and they land where you want them to land.
Because I think
crazy.
That's something, because I've gone deep into that world lately. I mean, over the past 2 years of doing this podcast and interviewed, almost every comedian in the city. I mean, and I love talking about it because I think that the craft of it is so fascinating, like you were saying. And I've always thought, I think of a lot about it as like, it's almost like the most purest form of expression in a lot of ways, because it's just someone talking and making that entertaining. And it's not like you're playing music or singing a song. You're just sharing your viewpoint of the world with people and trying to get people to understand what your viewpoint is. And that's all art, I think, as we all create it, whether it's a painting or a song or whatever it is. It's like you're just taking your experience, turning it into something to show someone else and see if they feel the same way or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's such and that's kind of why, I love this podcast so much, is because I love talking about how these things are similar. You know what I mean? Like whether it's you're a comedian or a visual artist or a musician, like there's so many similarities.
Well, think about art history for a second. In art history, like they like stories of the great artists that we all know about, that maybe they were painted in those books as being like lone wolves, or like they did it all, they didn't become famous until they died, which like a lot of them, yes. But from stories of their lives, they would go out to the pubs. They would hang out with people there, and it would be all types of people,
different artists,
like different types of artists, different creatives. And there's a book titled what is it called? The Art of Rivalry. And it's a really good book that analyzes the relationships to art history's greatest art pairs. Like they're not friends, but they're kind of frenemies. Or like, just like healthy competition in the arts. And that book really opened up my world, and I saw a lot of myself and the relationships that I was experiencing at the time that I read it, and realizing, oh, it's the same throughout history. Creative people find creative people, and we just always end up swirling about together in this mystical universe on a flying rock. Like, so definitely recommend that book.
I'll check it out, because that's something, like I said, I'm constantly thinking about. I told this to someone, but I interviewed a poet named Kim Bastion. You know
Yes.
Kim.
So fun fact, we actually worked together.
So yeah, I knew you guys had commented on a post or something. But anyways,
Yes.
so that's fascinating too. But Kim's awesome. But anyways, I had her on a podcast a month ago. But so I was talking to her about poetry and like rhythm and stuff like that. Where it's like if you're a poet, you are very familiar with rhythm and how you write. But it comes to find out she's also a drummer. It's like, well, that makes so much sense because it's like if you know rhythm so well, it's like you're gonna apply that. It can be applied to so many different types of art.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, Kim is a multifaceted individual and so passionate about what she does.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's amazing.
And amazing. I've read all of her books, both poetry books and the memoir, and like I was blown away by all of them. Especially the memoir. Like that one was my favorite.
Yeah, it's the depth.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, she's has a way with words for sure. But anyways, it's been really fun getting to know her and her work. But anyways, yeah, I always bring that example up because it's like when I talk about these kind of crossovers between mediums, because it's like you never know what can
what will carry over.
Yeah, and that's why I think about even with comedy. So I think about like if you're a musician, it's like you should try comedy because comedy could help you be a better musician as far as stage presence or something.
Yes, it makes you more comfortable.
Yeah.
I learned to be in front of people performing through karaoke.
Yeah,
exactly. And I had a commitment to myself. I was like, I want to do karaoke because I know it's going to help me get over my stage fright.
Right.
And it took a long time, and I still get butterflies, but they're not as intense.
It's like you're more familiar with it, and so
yes,
you can
I can work with it now. Yeah.
So yeah, speaking of which, you have done some performances. I wanted to bring this up, but you're a part of James's sketch comedy show live from OKC. It's Saturday night.
Come out tonight. We got a lovely show. Yeah, this is gonna be fucking sick. Are you guys ready?
You want me to tell them?
I want you to tell them live from OKC. It's Saturday night.
It's Saturday Night Live with Calvin.
Yes.
That was in 2019. And I remember you told me this when we met, and I was at that show for sure. Like, because I remember it. I don't remember much about it, but I must have seen you because you were, what was your sketch? It was
I was,
Mitch Hedberg deal?
Yes, I was the comedian medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's what I like to hear. So I just started a new job. I became a medium, and actually I'm a comedian medium, to be specific. And I'm going to be channeling the one and only Mitch Hedberg tonight. I got 2 straws here, in case one breaks down. You know, crazy straws, they go all over the place. These straws are sane. They never lost their minds. They said they're going straight to the mouth. That other guy that takes a while to get there, he's fucking crazy.
So I channeled Mitch Hedberg.
So I'm sure I saw you do that. Of course, I don't really have a good memory of that. I mean, that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, I was super bummed because, like, at that time, I didn't have as well a practiced system for when I would do performances and making sure that I grabbed documentation from it.
Oh yeah, nobody filmed it.
yeah. Well, they had that live stream up, and it stayed up. It stayed up for a long time, and I'm sure I could just message the guys and get it from them.
But yeah.
But I was looking for it recently to send to somebody, and it looks like they had taken it down. And I was going through a rabbit hole trying to find that documentation that I had actually gone to an open mic prior to it, and I had used that open mic as a way to rehearse.
Oh, okay, so you did this sketch, but it was like a
I found a video of me doing it. I don't remember doing that, but I found a video of me doing that performance as a practice at an open mic, to get ready for how it would feel.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's important in what I do is to like I have to put myself
figure
in
it out. Yeah, you have to at least have an understanding of what you're getting into. Maybe.
Yeah. And it's like how like I have to feel.
Yeah.
It's a very physical thing for me. I have
Mhm.
to feel what it's gonna feel like possibly, and like how to navigate if something like goes wrong or
Right.
type
Yeah.
A.
No, I get
Type
that
A.
for sure. So was that your first time ever performing? Because I think you told me you had done an open mic, maybe at the Looney Bin or something one time.
Yes, but that was just to get out of the door cover.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you told me.
Yeah. James, I had gone there to hang out with him,
Uh-huh.
and James said, "Hey, do you want to get out of the door cover by
Yeah.
doing 5 minutes?" And I said,
You're like
"Okay."
5 minutes. How long could that? That's
And
nothing.
that's when I learned. That's when I learned how hard it is.
Yeah.
And Cameron Buchholz was there.
Yeah.
And he had some nice things to say. Like, I just assume that all comedians are vicious.
Mhm.
And like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because in my experience, I mean, I get that, that thinking for sure, but it's like you're also dealing with Oklahomans.
yes,
Like we're the most
yes.
polite people
And I
in there.
think part of it is my own anxiety, because like I really am an introvert.
Mhm.
I'm a learned extrovert, is what I
Mhm.
tell people. And so when I did that,
Yeah.
Cameron had some nice things to say to me, and like I realized after I walked off stage that he had tried to like shake my hand, and I was like so nervous that
Yeah,
I
you
just ran by
didn't
him.
even realize
And
it.
I talked to him later, and I was like,
Yeah.
"I'm so sorry." And he's like, "No big deal." And I was like, "Okay." I don't know what happened. I blacked out.
And you didn't have anything prepared?
No.
Or, yeah, you just got up there.
No, I
and-
just got up there, and I had maybe like 10 minutes to think about how I could.
Some ideas of what to say.
Yes, and so I just kind of centered it around like not knowing how to relate to the audience, because when I looked out, like there was nothing but like people who are like in their like late 40s, 50s, and at the time I was 27, 28, and I got up there. I was able to stand up there, I think, for almost a full minute, not saying anything, just like slowly looking at the audience, and then finally being like, "They let you all outside." And I can't remember the rest of what I said, but I told stories about being a janitor and how one of the buildings I worked for, this lady walked in, and I had blue hair at the time. And I said, "Hi, how are you? Don't mind me." And she turned around and she just started cackling. And I was like, "What?" And so I used that story, and I got a couple laughs. So I was like, "Okay, not bad."
Yeah.
Not bad.
For sure. Especially, not having anything. 'Cause that's my thing. Is like Nick does a show called Comedy on the Spot.
Mhm.
He does it once a month, and we film it and we put it up on YouTube because it's all made up. I mean, you're not allowed to use pre-written material.
So it's just all like in the
so
moment.
like it's basically all crowd work. Is like, but what they do is like they'll pull topics out of this bucket, and you have to try to make up a joke based on that, or tell a story about to make it humorous.
Okay.
So it's like
cool.
basically what you did.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I was just trying to hang out and not pay a door cover, which I mean, I think it was like
Yeah, $5.
$5 or something. I don't know what I was
Still,
thinking.
though, it's cool though. I mean, it's like I said, it's definitely good that you tried something like that. Have you done it a lot since, or at all?
Not really.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, it has informed my ability to do public speaking.
Yeah.
And has really helped with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't really gotten up and done any jokes lately. I think I'm really more of like, I like to do video
Yeah.
and like, film out.
Yeah, a little bit more prep, and then you
yeah.
can edit things.
Yeah, you can edit things, but also like I like the medium because it just lives
Yeah.
I,
No,
I
that's
understand the ephemeral
right.
experience of the live in person, but I love
Mhm.
video for the reason that you can upload it and then it
Mhm.
can just exist for as long as
Yeah.
you want to leave it
For
there.
sure. Yeah, it's definitely something 'cause that is the difference. I mean, that's why I think I like comedy so much or like going to a show. I mean, even with music for sure. I mean, they're similar in that way of like somebody's performing something and like it's only happening now like in
It's
this
in that
thing,
moment.
it's
It's
like if
there.
you're not there, even if it's because I'm obsessed with like trying to capture that, whether it's through photography or video,
Hmm.
but it's still not the same. I mean, it's still, you can kind of get an idea of what it was like, but it's like you have to be experiencing that thing in that moment,
Yes.
to get the full idea of what it is. And yeah, there's something very magical about that.
Yeah, to our peril. We will always be
Yeah.
chasing and trying
Yeah.
to capture life as it is, but it will
Yeah.
never be as it
But it's
is.
still, I don't know. It's still a fun
It is a
thing for
fun
me.
challenge. I will
Yeah.
never stop.
This episode of Rhythm and Wit was brought to you by Campbell & Son Electric, Oklahoma City's trusted one-truck electrical contractor with over 20 years of experience in the field. Whether it's upgrading your home's electrical service, troubleshooting issues, or tackling small commercial projects, Campbell & Son Electric delivers top-notch work with care and attention you'd expect from a family business. Servicing areas like Del City, Edmond, Yukon, Mustang, and beyond, they're your go-to for reliable expert service. Need help with your next project? Visit CampbellandSonElectric.com today and get it done right the first time. Campbell & Son Electric, brightening Oklahoma, one wire at a time.
I wanted to ask you about video production because that's something that definitely we kind of share in common. So yeah, this is kind of what we are just talking about, but the most kind of interesting thing about video, and maybe the question is like how did you get? What was the first thing that made you want to create videos and media and that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, I was always fascinated by the television.
Yeah.
And
Especially like growing up with, like you said, media, like games and anime and
yeah,
things like that. You want
it
to.
really wasn't until because I always would make videos whenever I was able to get access to a video camera. Like
Mm-hmm.
my memo had one, and
Mm-hmm.
I would like just go around filming things and playing with it and stuff. And I just loved documenting what was happening around me,
Mm-hmm.
and something about the archival aspect of it was what drew me to it first. But then as I got older and started expanding and experimenting in other mediums, I started getting really into music videos.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was doing my various music projects and things, like I would always enjoy making like a video to accompany it. Uh,
Yeah.
and so that's
That's
I'll,
maybe that's how you got started with it. So I mean, I
mhm.
definitely wanted to ask you about your music, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's I didn't really like make videos for anybody else
Right.
until way more recently.
Mm-hmm.
I would just make stuff for myself or make these like really strange, like abstract,
Kind of maybe
surrealist.
like an art piece, but in
Yes,
video.
yeah, but it's like layered
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, what was it? I got a spotlight artist for Momentum Ada, which was a
Hmm.
thing in 2017, and I got it for um the new media section of it.
Hmm.
At that time, I was making lots of video loops
Hmm.
for this project called Pink Hell, which
Mm-hmm.
just existed as a Tumblr website,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just go around recording these scenes from my life and turning them into like a dream world that was all
Hmm.
pink. And I did that for about 2.5 years, and eventually, yeah, I got into that thing with it.
Yeah.
And what I realize now is that it's like showing signs of being a director of photography because of how the shots are set up, and
Mm-hmm.
And not that I've done that
But
exactly,
yeah, I mean,
but
still, you're thinking
understanding.
like that, and
Yeah, yes.
and then
And I
yeah,
didn't have the language either.
yeah.
I didn't have the language of video production then.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was shot on my phone.
Yeah.
I kind of
And
understood concepts,
what
but
did you use to create like the effects and things like that?
I eventually got Premiere Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So I eventually started working in that.
And you're just using like different, like, imagine you're creating like layers in Photoshop or just an image and then taking
Sometimes,
that and moving it.
yeah, sometimes it would be like shapes and graphics I
Yeah.
would make in Photoshop, and I would add like effects onto that,
Yeah.
or it would be textures from videos that I took elsewhere,
Layer that.
like water textures,
Mm.
or like train going by really fast,
Yeah.
and then distorting that where it looks like a blur,
Mm-hmm.
but there's movement. Oop, there's movement. And so yeah, I just did a lot of that for a long time, and just like really pushing my CPU to its
Yeah.
limits because it
Yeah.
struggled.
Mine's been struggling now, and it's like but it's just it's getting old. But I have
Yes.
to replace it soon. So it's like I was editing today, and it's just like starts yelling at me.
Yeah, like
I'm doing too much.
the last time I updated my equipment was
Yeah.
in 2021.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it was 2021. I updated my my processor and
Mm-hmm.
motherboard, and it's been good to me,
Yeah.
but it has been
It's
starting to fall behind, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is it really already time? Like, it
Yeah.
feels like it's happening faster and faster.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know, but we're getting older, so time is like not
Yeah.
time is moving faster than it used to, I think.
Yeah.
um
True.
but yeah. No, I think yeah, it sucks though. Computers. And like, yeah, because it's still like, I feel like, I don't know, even my phones, I don't know. I don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like,
Um,
I don't know, just being a person of this world, it's a lot to go between all these devices, and I totally get it.
yeah.
I totally get
Especially,
it.
I just think it's like like when they stop working as well, it's like you were fine a
Yeah,
year
what
ago.
happened? It's like, what happened?
Yeah. But yeah, things just start to deteriorate. Everything does.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I kind of wanted to. There's one thing I found really interesting about your videos because you had worked on, from what I could see on your website anyway, there was like a couple of music video projects, but one of them was for Chat Pile. Can you talk about that? How'd you
Sure.
get involved with that?
Yeah, so that was a wild experience.
Yeah.
So my partner and I are friends with a couple of the guys in
Yeah,
Chat
okay.
Pile, and they approached us about like, hey, like, we're about to release this album. Do y'all want to do the first video for it? And we were like, sure. Like, what are you guys thinking? And they kind of, they were really cool about it. And they were just kind of like, well, we're really open to like, the creative direction being up to y'all. But we sat down and talked with them, and we
Got
came
some ideas.
came up with some ideas. And then London, who is the main star in that music
Okay.
video, came up with this idea to basically wanted to cover themselves in blood.
Uh-huh.
And from there we kind of developed
So that was just the idea. It's like, I want to do this.
yeah. Well, and originally, they're a performance artist,
Yeah.
and they were like, I'm gonna go get real pig's blood, but the last time I did this, I got really sick. And we
Yeah,
were like, maybe we can just make some.
Yeah.
Maybe
it
we
out
can
of,
just like make a bunch of it, and like
Something that's not going to kill you.
yes, like let's
give you a disease.
let's do that. And they were like, okay. And they were super great to work with. It definitely was like really. It was quite a day because we shot all that in one day. And I remember telling them, I was like, okay, so once we put the blood on, like, it was made out of sugar syrup, basically, and food dyes and all this stuff. I was like, it's gonna like become sticky and dry, and it's gonna feel really uncomfortable. Are you ready to do this today? Are you rested? And I remember them being like, yep, and that's performance artists for you. Like they're ready to rock and roll. And so we filmed all of that in the backyard of the house that we were living in. The owner had installed a chicken coop, which we thought it would be a great idea for London to suddenly be birthed out of this chicken coop and then, start building this cross. And just sort of like coming up with actions, like a flow of actions that could happen through the video. And one part of that is like in the beginning where it starts off out in front of barbecue place that will not be named. They like London knew the spot, but Lane actually was like, I really want this to be in there. Like, I don't know how we're gonna make it get in there, but I want to figure this out because this is the most like, this is very chat pile. Like the fact that this place has a large giant cross just off of the highway, and we got to figure out a way to fit it in. So, funny enough, it ended up being like the opening shot where it's just like London sitting there in front of the cross, and then suddenly it backs out and you can see, this restaurant with a giant cross in front of it. And it was a lot of fun. We didn't really know like what was going to end up happening with that. Awesome, and then it got released, and and then they've worked with so many people since then. Like I'm hugely grateful for the opportunity, and I just can't believe like it's just wild to think about that. Like we spent a full like, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 hours together just walking around Oklahoma while London, was covered in this covered in the syrup all day. And then when we got back to the house, and like we were in my car, and London was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I knew it was gonna get everywhere. Like this, that's part of this. Let's get you back to the house so you can take a shower and like just get this all off of you. And I was like, let the warm water like really work. It's like, don't try to comb it out of your hair. Like
melt it.
Let it. You're gonna have to let it like. Melt that sugar down a little bit.
That's I can imagine, the cleanup of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. That's like I said, I'm not like I know about Chatpile, but I've only ever heard the name like within the past year. I would say maybe about a year ago.
Yeah,
I
phenomenal.
The name and,
I mean, they have just catapulted.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, they truly. Yeah, I feel like they have discovered a sound that really speaks to the core of a lot of Oklahomans, as well as people elsewhere, obviously. I mean, they're doing tours in Europe and all over the place. But their sound is just, it's raw and it's hard. And I'm in disbelief, I've known some of those guys for a while, and they're just the sweetest people, but they make this they make such intense music. And it's really cool to see it and to be able to say that.
Like I said, that was
I was part of it.
That was definitely something when I saw that, I was like, oh, I got to ask about this because that's really cool.
I had a student from OU stop by yesterday, and I'll say this: like she's one of the first students to interview me. And actually surprise me that they did their research because she also asked about Chatpile, and I was like. Hello. All right, let's talk about it.
Anyways, just was curious about, how you even got involved. But I mean, it makes sense if you knew them before anyways.
It's very lucky. Like we had done like random video projects with Randy in the past, because Lane was in film school at OU. and was really good friends with Randy, and they would run around and uh was it yeah, Randy and I acted together in one of the
Hmm.
short films that Lane had to
Okay.
make. And yeah, so like we
So you
just
guys have always been doing this kind of
yeah,
stuff.
like yeah, but just like randomly,
Yeah.
it's like Randy appeared and then he would disappear. We wouldn't see each other for a long
Yeah.
time and then he'd reappear again, like, it's just kind of
Yeah.
how it goes.
For sure. That's cool. That's fun. So, are you like, is that something that you like? I mean, I imagine I'm sure it's fun making music videos, but are you like trying to do that more or like have any
Yes.
plans?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would do it all the time
Yeah.
every day if I
You're
could.
just trying to find those opportunities, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And the opportunities are
Yeah.
there. I I want to continue to explore like visually through video, and
Mhm.
I think pairing it with a musician is a great way to
Yeah.
do that because sometimes like with Chat Pile, they were very open and
Yeah.
trusting with whatever we ended up doing, but happy to talk about it. But then
Mhm.
you might meet somebody else that might have something that they really
Yeah, very
want to
specific idea.
capture. Yeah, and then being able to dial it in,
Mhm.
and get what they want and have them be happy with it.
Mhm.
That's a unique feature of producing stuff for
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people. And yeah, like I love making music videos. I've made a handful for other people over the last
Mhm.
couple years, and yeah, I'm open to work.
For
If
sure.
somebody has an idea, and there's always a way to do it. Um, you know, it's the dream to get paid,
Yeah.
$20,000 to make a music video for somebody. But um, coming from the place that I do, and working with shoestring budgets,
Mhm.
you can find a high quality subject or a concept that
Mhm.
you can achieve with minimal,
Mhm. I mean, yeah, it's
investment.
like, I mean, that's the thing I always say is like everybody's got a phone. I mean, you can make a video with a phone.
Yes, you
That's all you
can.
really need. I
You
mean,
can.
you can make
And
a good, a good one. I mean, even if you do it right anyway.
yeah. There's so many
Yeah.
workarounds, and I remember always feeling kind of bad because I didn't have access to video equipment to
Mhm.
be able to produce the things that I was seeing in my head, but I
Yeah.
had my phone.
Right. And that's
and and,
how
and
you
it,
start anyway.
yeah, it's a great place to start because you kind of uh you get an idea of like what your eye likes to go to when you're filming, or
Mhm.
like how you
Yeah.
how you look at things through the lens before you get to the
Right.
equipment.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I definitely want to make more music videos. We just finished one
Okay.
actually.
Who is that for?
It was for Butter and the Genre,
Huh.
which is a jazz band out of Oklahoma City.
Hmm.
They have a new single coming out on the 22nd, and we're gonna have a private showing of the music video
Mhm.
this weekend at Uncanny
Cool.
Art
Oh,
House.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Get to premiere or a little bit
yeah.
private
Like,
screening,
yeah, it's a
yeah.
private
But
screening.
still,
They're so excited because
yeah.
they're playing live at the event on Saturday. And
Okay.
since we finished the music video, we both kind of had the same idea. Like, oh, what if we show it during the Halloween masquerade,
Hmm.
um, as like a, private screening,
Hmm.
because they want to release it online a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. They're not ready to share it just yet with
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, but they're
That's
super
awesome.
excited, and I'm super proud of it. Chase is super proud of it.
Hmm.
And
And that was with through Uncanny Media, is that right?
yes. So, while we have Uncanny Art House,
Yeah.
Uncanny Media is our production side.
Yeah.
And we when did we finish that? We finished it
Mm.
Thursday or Friday and sent it over to Butter and his manager, and immediately they were like, "Oh my gosh,
They
like
loved it.
yeah, this is everything," because he had some specific things that he
Uh-huh.
wanted to see. And it's been a while since Chase and I have made a music video
Hmm.
together, and so it was nice to revisit that because we've grown a lot
Yeah, you've learned
from
new
like
things
as
and
as a as a production team.
uh-huh.
We know how the other works a lot better now,
Yeah.
and we've developed better systems for managing, because we had different locations that we went
Yeah.
to. The talent that we had, we thought we were going to have one lead uh, guy actor. He ended up dropping out and found Ben C very suddenly
Huh.
from Labris,
Oh,
which
okay.
is wild. Yeah.
That's fun.
And so yeah, Ben stepped in, a really great guy, and saved the whole thing because he plays a very convincing detective,
Oh,
even though
great.
he's never acted before.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's the thing I find too. I mean, even speaking of like Reweathering America, is like a lot of these performers. If you're a performer, you can perform a lot of different things. I mean, no matter if you've never actually acted. That's what I find with a lot of comics. It's like
They can just ease right
yeah,
into it. Yeah.
it's similar enough to get a good foothold onto that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So.
I'm super grateful for all of the creative
Hmm.
people that are in my life because, I mean, yeah, when stuff like this comes up and like plans don't work out the way you think they do, like someone steps up and it's just so
Yeah.
cool. Like I feel so lucky, like to know.
Yeah, it's like you have a network of people to kind of reach out to and connect with when you need
Yes,
them.
and I'm so grateful, and I know that any one of these people also knows that if they ever needed anything,
Yeah.
they could call me. Like
Hmm.
I got their back, and it's super
Great.
special.
That's definitely something I've valued highly about doing this kind of stuff and just I mean, I met so many cool people in the past like 2 years for sure. I mean, even more so in just the past year alone of just like
Hmm.
so many of just talented people and like people like you and people like Chase and like all these people that are doing really, really cool things.
Yeah, and it's awesome that we're like all coexisting at the same
Yeah.
time. How in the world did we luck
Yeah.
out?
For sure. And just I think the key is like finding each other and connecting. But that's why I love doing these podcasts and getting for me personally, it's like I get to truly connect with someone I feel like on a deeper level than you would even if we just knew each other and saw each other at like different
Yeah.
shows and randomly, you know.
Yeah, there is kind of that like day-to-day thing that
Yeah.
happens where like you get used to each other.
But still, like for me, anyways, like ask going through because it's like kind of like a secret agenda I have about doing this kind of stuff is like asking these questions and like coming up with ideas in my head somewhere. It's like where can I fit in? How can we work together on something
Yeah,
someday?
always,
So yeah,
always. And that's the beauty of putting yourself out there.
for
If I
sure.
had to like communicate one message, just put
Hmm.
yourself out there because I was once a very lonely internet
Yeah,
kid
yeah,
who, my whole world was online,
yeah.
and now
Now you're in the real world.
I'm in the real world, yes.
So yeah, I kind of wanted to jump into one kind of a big topic, which unfortunately we're already deep into the show.
Uh-huh.
But your music, of course,
Mhm.
you've been playing music for it seems like a long time. You have a lot of albums out that you've been a part of. So when did you start playing music? Or I guess you answered that earlier about playing in elementary school, right?
Yeah.
Violin and
So that was my first
yeah.
introduction was violin, and I tried to get into doing the viola
Yeah.
when I was reintroduced back to it, and I just was so
Right.
upset at the teacher I couldn't even. So for a long time I put it down, but I was always uh, musically inclined.
Mhm.
Like I could figure out how to play stuff on the piano by ear,
Mm.
and stuff like that. And I was deeply shy, and
Mhm.
I didn't really like people knowing that I could sing.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't really revealed until like I told myself I'm going to do the school talent show, and I
Uh-huh.
got up there and did it. But the teacher, man, sorry, a digression. The teacher who was organizing it told me that she could remove the lyrics off of the audio that I gave her,
Oh, yeah.
and then she didn't do it.
Mhm.
And so and one of the rules is that you couldn't have music with lyrics on it. You had
Mhm.
to, it was
Yeah.
dumb. So I went out there and I did it a cappella. And
Oh, okay.
I challenged myself to do that because I was so painfully shy and
Mhm.
nervous. Um, but didn't really touch music for a long time. I
Mhm.
tried to be in bands when I was younger, but
Right.
I didn't really know.
'Cause
I didn't know how to
yeah.
be in
I
one,
mean,
and
especially, growing up in a small town, I mean, where there's not that
yeah,
many
and I was just
people.
surrounded by these butthole
Yeah.
dudes that play
Yeah.
guitar, and they were just all
Yeah.
about themselves. And like when you're a teenager and you meet a boy with a guitar, yeah, it seems cute and all, but they're kind of jerks.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So,
didn't
yeah, never did. And I'm sure, even, the introverted stuff too is, hard to do something like that
yeah,
when you're young.
yeah, it was hard for me to navigate because like I didn't really have a strong personality. I didn't
Mhm.
know how to stand up for myself, which
Mhm.
of course had to go through it.
Right.
So I didn't really do music.
Mhm.
I did backup vocals for a band that was only together for a short while. It
Yeah.
was called The Silence That Was the City,
Huh.
and it was my boyfriend at the time's band. And then I just didn't touch it for a long time. But I really, really loved hip
Yeah.
hop and rap music. Respect the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And so I started just like learning how to rap, like
Yeah.
listening to artists that I really loved, and on my way to the grocery store, um, you know, or while I was in the grocery store, just like rapping about
Like
uh
cereal.
cereal, or like
Whatever
trying to like
stuff on the shelf,
I'm
yeah.
not a freestylist.
Yeah.
Like I really I do my best, but I am not. It's
Yeah.
hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
someone
hard to,
who,
think of stuff quickly, I
yeah, I'm mad
imagine.
respect for people who
Yeah.
can do it. It's super cool.
Yeah.
But for me, like I'm more of a like I go inward and I like to think about things.
Mhm.
And
Write something and then
yes,
perform it.
and I met a friend online who at the time I had just stumbled upon his music. We weren't friends yet.
Mhm.
I found this beat and something in me
Mhm.
just said, "Why don't you try to write something over this? Like ask this person if you can
Mhm.
use it to try and write something." And we were about the same age and we were still in
Mhm.
college, and he said, "Yeah."
Magical girl can rap, so what you think of that? I don't know, many think you can defeat me. I don't know, dude, hit your mollies on the beat. Raise our magic wands to the haters at our feet. Catch us diving on that moon. Power! In the middle of the night is our fighting hour. Traveling through the internet, cyberspace. Looking for that next fucking awful trend to hate. But it's all good, magical girls and boys. We're weird, you're strange, we're stranger. Got that magic just like glitter. Making basic bitches look real bitter. Magical girls run the world. 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 And magical boys too.
And I learned that he does not live here in America.
Yeah.
He lives all the way in Argentina.
Okay.
So he's on the south side of the world.
And that was the collaborator that you done 2 projects with? Yeah.
Yes, OG.
Okay.
He does he goes by
He's just a producer, he makes beats and
he's a producer,
instrumental.
but he eventually started singing
Oh,
and
wow.
also doing some like rap.
Mhm.
Like his newer music, he goes by Le Pop Brut now, which I think is how you say it. But he he really developed his style, and I feel like for both of us, because we've never met in person,
Yeah.
I know that we both would love to one
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
That first song was very special because I think it was a time for both of us where, we were internet kids.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time online. And I took that song and I made a funny thing. And he was like, "Oh, could I try and can I try and do the mixing?" And
Yeah.
he hadn't really done that part yet. So we kind of grew together through music by working on those projects. And what ended up happening is, we made our own virtual duo. It was a magical girl and an alien prince, and we
And
had
it's very narrative driven too.
yes,
yeah.
it's very narrative driven. Like all of the songs have some sort of story behind them, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I have performed some of those songs in the last like 3 years.
Mm.
Because every now and again I get asked to
Yeah.
do a random set, so I'll
Yeah.
pull from those.
some of that stuff. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Yeah, I hadn't. Didn't realize you had so much music that was released. Otherwise, I would have loved to like check out all of it. I listened to the most recent. I think there was um, it was at
Lane and the Laters.
Laters. Yeah,
Yes,
the
yeah.
most recent album. I listened to the whole thing, which was really good. And and I went back and listened to your first, the Pink Hell EP.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything you heard is real, so you should already know I'm the deal. Spiraling inside a pink pretty void, still singing for sad girls and boys who never knew they could make noise. So put your heads down and rejoice. Yeah, put those heads down and rejoice, cause Kusanagi found that voice. Out here we chill. We've got so much time to kill. And out here it's real. We have so much left to feel.
Yeah, that
So
one.
it's definitely a very different styles, but I mean
Yeah.
both very good. I don't know. I enjoyed them both.
Yes.
So, but yeah, speaking of like your rap influence, that was like the early stuff, right, on that first EP.
Yes.
And that was it was your first solo thing, right?
Yeah, it was my first solo thing, working with like
Different people,
different producers and.
Were those all different like people from the internet too?
Yes, all of them. A very
Yeah,
special group,
just
and
different.
like several of those people like ended up like working with each other or like becoming aware of each other, and
through that album, I guess, right?
well,
in
yeah,
a
like
way.
through us working together,
Yeah.
and we were also like part of like online communities, because back when Tumblr was like a really big deal, I met several people online through that. Now, granted, I was everywhere.
Yeah.
I had a lot more of an online presence then, and but it was more like communication based, like being part of like Discords and you know, different threads basically, where we were all talking to each other and working on projects together. And it definitely informs my relationship building and how I navigate real life
Yeah,
relationships too, because you know, you're not seeing a physical person, you're getting to know them through how they type or what they create, and I always find that really fascinating. But yeah, like that first album, or that first solo album, was a really funny experiment. Going through a lot of different emotions and just trying different things.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, let me just look at some of my. You talked about a little bit about your, musical influences, I guess. Like as far as like, who is some of your favorite artists as far as or influences, like big artists or whatever like that.
Definitely. And I know people are probably gonna clown on me for this, but I used to listen to a lot of Aesop rock.
Okay.
And I thought it was really, at the time, very interesting how he would turn raps into almost this like stream of consciousness. And it kind of didn't matter. Like he definitely has his own style. It's very like punchy, you know. And I thought that was really cool. It just sounded cool. So I would try and emulate some of that. And listening to a lot of like classic like 90s hip hop. I had a friend of mine who was really into it whenever I was still living in Lawton. And I wouldn't see him very often, but you know, we would just like drive around in his car, and he would put some old school shit on.
Show you some of that stuff.
Yeah, and like the song 99 Lighters
Huh.
I don't
think
know if you're
or
familiar.
maybe I don't know. I'm bad with like song titles.
Yeah.
Like I never
Well,
know the names of songs.
after this, like go listen.
I may have
Yeah.
heard of it, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I really like that
Yeah,
song, and it sticks with me. "Insane in the Membrane," that
yeah,
song.
yeah. A lot of that old school hip hop for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, love the sound, the
Mm-hmm.
vibe. Like, I was a baby, so like I have no
Yeah,
idea what it was
yeah.
like during that time,
Right.
but the energy that has carried through time,
Mm-hmm.
like I love that sound, and so
Yeah.
some of that, um, I try to channel
Mm-hmm.
through my raps, although mine at the time that I was making it, it was like sad girl rap,
Yeah.
or like the SoundCloud rapper
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I didn't care. I was just having fun
That's
and
awesome, man. That's
and trying stuff.
definitely interesting. I mean, like I said, I love all music. I mean, I'm a huge music person. I mean, as far as I've always said this, like, I appreciate every genre for sure. Like, only ones I don't really mess with a lot is like country and rap, like hardcore rap, I guess, or something like that.
Mhm.
But the thing is, I always say that, but I love like hip hop, like as far as the
Yeah.
like the musicality of
Yeah.
like drum and bass stuff. But like when it comes to like some rap styles, I just can't do.
Yeah,
But
like
there's a huge variety within rap itself. So
yes, there is. And I think too LP
hmm,
he also has some very clever stylistic
yeah,
choices, and had a bit of a a resurgence, maybe like
hmm,
3 or 4 years ago. um I can't remember the name of the song, but the music video is basically like where it's a bunch of politicians arguing, and it's all in slow-mo, and they start like
uh-huh.
fighting each other. It's a really it's a really great music
Yeah,
video, and it's
yeah,
also a really good song.
yeah.
It hits really hard. Yeah, definitely recommend that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, um, I always like asking about people's influences because one, like that, always think as we're growing up, you always go through the world and you see something that somebody's doing, like an artist or a musician or whatever, and you're like, oh, I want to do that, and you try to go towards that, and you start emulating that, and then eventually you find your
Yeah, it
own
kind of
path.
yeah, it turns into your own
Yeah,
thing. Like,
so it's always fascinating to me to hear about that from people. But one new kind of question I want to start asking people is like, but I can't believe I haven't been doing this forever. But like, what are you currently listening to? Like, what do you like
oh my
now?
God, you really want to know?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, again, brain not braining. Can't remember names,
Yeah.
but it's a thunder song
Huh.
that plays here in Oklahoma City,
Like,
or well, it plays on the radio around here.
oh, okay.
But
Is it
it's
like
like
a
it's
thunder like anthem type
yeah,
deal?
it's
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
an anthem, but it's
Okay.
about doing the do the thunderclap.
Okay.
Like it's so like it is so proud to
Yeah.
be part of Oklahoma City. It's not even
Mm-hmm.
funny. And I love that
That's
song
funny.
so much because it's like it shouts out, it's like, where's Lawton, where's
Yeah.
Tulsa, do the thunderclap. And I'm like,
I
yes,
haven't
like
heard that.
that.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
it's a newer song.
Okay.
Like I like hear every time I'm like rolling around because I only get 103.5 when I'm up
Yeah.
here.
Oh yeah.
I get it a little bit in Norman,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some dead spots. And on my way up here, it came on, and I was like,
That's
yeah, like
awesome.
it's just very, very Oklahoma City proud, and
Mm-hmm.
I love stuff like that. But what I've actually been listening to on the regular
Yeah.
is I've actually been listening to like Pink Woods
Huh.
and some of this darker, kind of moody music,
Hmm.
almost like dark wave kind of genres.
Hmm.
And the French Police is
Hmm.
also another one that I've been listening to. I think it's because it's like the fall vibe. I'm kind of
Hmm.
getting into this like moodier headspace, but
Yeah.
it's also really good music to work to because like these guys,
Chill kind
yeah,
of.
it's kind of chill. These guys are just kind of mumbling about their
Yeah.
feelings, where they're like, I feel my heart in my chest, like, and it's like, okay, cool, and there's like a little synth in the background,
Yeah.
and
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing is like there's so much music now. It's like you could name 100 artists, and it's like I don't know who any of those people are, which is
Yeah.
cool because like now I might let me find out, and
Yeah,
listen to
no,
some
it's
of it.
hard. It is hard
But
for me
yeah,
to
it's
retain.
yeah.
Like I've had people in bars try to like make fun of me for not being able to remember the names of
Oh
bands.
yeah,
And I just chalk it up to like I listen to so much music
yeah,
and I don't know. I don't believe in holding on to something
or like
that
maybe
I didn't even make, that I'm
oh
like
yeah.
being like possessive about it.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
just
was gonna say. It's like you're not putting so much stock into something
no.
that's
No,
or
like
idolizing something or someone. I think we do that a lot when we're young. It's like
yeah.
there's certain artists that
Yeah,
it's like you
and
obsess over, but
I get that people have certain things that are meaningful to them
hmm
because I have those
yeah,
things. But there's been so many experiences where people have been rude to me
hmm
or tried to make fun of me because I can't remember something.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Like it's not that important.
yeah, it's like I struggle to remember where my keys are. Sometimes
Right.
I put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like
Yeah.
I listen to so much music, and it's only recently that I've been like trying to, especially I get stuck in genres.
hmm
And I will put on my YouTube, and I will be listening to one genre, but eventually the algorithm will switch up on itself because I just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
And then it'll stumble upon something. I'm like, oh, I like this, and I'll look
hmm
at the name, and I'll like save it somewhere.
hmm
And I mean, that's how I've been finding
Yeah,
my music for the last couple of
for
years. And
sure.
especially when I was at the factory, like I would just listen to so much music
Yeah.
that it would just be like flowing
Just a
in and out.
blur. Or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
It's
just
just, yeah. And I mean, I went through like a 3-month period where I was listening to nothing but like 1930s jazz. So
hmm.
I went through like as much as
Yeah, just
that,
every
yeah, as much that exists online,
yeah.
just would listen to that constantly, and then it would switch to another genre where I
hmm
might be listening to 90s grunge for 3-4 months. And
hmm
yeah, it was a great time. I loved that
Yeah,
job for that reason, because I could just disappear into music world for a
for
while.
sure. That's what I think I love about music the most. It's like it is like um this world that doesn't even it can only exist in your head sometimes, where it's just like you're listening to something and doesn't matter what's going on around you. It's like you're up here, living
Mhm.
in this space.
Yeah, it's
Uh
a good time, and that's what Darkwave, I guess, has been
yeah.
doing for me, is it's been helping me focus on getting my work
hmm
done, and
That's cool.
fits the spooky vibes of the
Yeah,
season.
get you into that mood.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. It's like I similar in the way. It's like I will listen. My thinking is like I rarely want to re-listen to the same thing. Like I'm always looking for something new or something I haven't heard before.
Hmm.
Is my thinking, or it has been for like probably 10 years or something, ever since like I got Spotify without ads like a long time ago. It
Hmm.
was just like I remember they had this Discover Weekly playlist. It would give you a playlist of like this stuff that it knew you had never heard before because it had never been played on your
Yeah, and
Spotify.
it's based on
Yeah,
the
but it's
things.
something that's like, here, you would like this. And I would go through that every Monday and listen to the whole thing and then pick out songs that I liked from it, put them in another playlist so I could check them out again later or something. But that was my favorite thing to do. And then lately, I actually have gotten off Spotify. I'm on YouTube Music now, which is,
Yeah, yeah.
but it has been a weird change and figuring out how that app works, because I've literally been on Spotify for over probably
Yeah, see,
10
I don't know how to
years.
use with Spotify.
Yeah.
I've never like I've interacted with it very minimally.
Yeah.
And I've just always been on YouTube
Yeah.
because I like the video component
Yeah.
if you want to
Right.
have it, but you can also just
Mhm.
listen to it,
Yeah.
And welcome to YouTube.
Yeah,
Welcome to
thanks.
welcome to
Yeah,
YouTube
well, that's the
Music.
thing is like, yeah, I've been on. I'm a huge YouTube
Yes,
user.
but using it in this way.
for the music side of it, it's like this is new for me. But like I figured, because it's been literally like less than a week that I've been getting into it. But it's like it needs to learn. I need to train my algorithm.
Yes,
you
and
know?
that takes time.
Yeah. So
That
and
takes
that's the thing. It's
time.
like in Spotify I had it down so well, but yeah, there's a lot of things about Spotify that I mean their business practices and things like that.
Yeah,
That
no, it's
kind of
definitely it has caught the heat, and
So
it is time.
there's been some. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and partly too because I got a pretty good deal because I got YouTube Premium, which comes with it, so it's like kind of saving me money there. And anyways, like I said, I watch a lot of YouTube. I mean, that's my main video source of entertainment. So
It's mine too. Yeah, I pretty much don't have any streaming services anymore.
What I do with streaming is like I'll have one for like a month and then I'll cancel it and then get a different one.
Getting that
then,
free trial.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I haven't been watching anything lately, so I don't have anything right now. But yeah, YouTube is an endless source of entertainment.
YouTube.
It's just like why I love doing this, and I'm a part of it now, making stuff for YouTube.
Yeah, no, and trying to do it also, and it takes forever to build it up.
Oh yeah, but yeah, we're doing it. We're starting to do better and better at least, but it's a slow climb for sure.
Yep.
But anyways, I'll jump into the last, my final questions that I always ask people. But what is the biggest challenge that you're currently facing?
Oh, biggest challenge, getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing too much.
Yeah. Well, and this is down from where I was just a year ago when I was working way too many jobs. It became super unsustainable and took some time to get myself together so that I could be in a better place to be able to take on Uncanny and be there full time. But really, more than anything, it's, I'm so passionate about it that sometimes I get ahead of myself or I'm not thinking for myself, like about myself, about self-care. Yeah. And
needs,
because like I just get so like, I can be very high energy and like really like motivated.
Passionate.
Yes. I just love I love this life. I love everyone around me. And so I find it challenging to know when I have like
when you need
when I've crossed a threshold and have overworked myself. And I feel like anybody will tell you that I have a history of doing this. I always think that I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
But I think this last time, because so basically from September, well, really the end of August through to our current exhibition opening, it's kind of been nonstop because we had a live stream art auction, then we had Reweathering America, then it was managing that current exhibition, installing for that exhibition, then the closing of it, and then getting this one ready. And the October show is very involved. Like, there's just a lot going on with it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. But I feel like I managed this well. And
like this past stretch of time.
Yes. And I knew that this first year was going to be a stress test, not only for me, but for everyone. And I figured it out. Oh yeah. And Ink the Block Party.
Yeah.
That was the other thing.
I was going to ask you about that.
I was like, there's another thing in there, but I can't remember
I
what
wanted
it was.
to ask you about that, but I was like, I was trying to cut some stuff because we've been going along.
I know. Yeah. But that was the other thing.
Yeah,
so
that was a big deal.
There was a lot of stuff, and I feel like I managed it well, or better than I have in the past, and that I really want to, I want to have that experience more often where like I might be encountering a very busy time or a very stressful time and not crumble. Yeah. Because I've had those
where it's like you get so overwhelmed that you can't even do it. I mean,
that can't even get out of bed.
That's something I think about a lot is like as far as self-care goes, cuz I mean I'm similar about I've never been accused of pushing myself that far, or you know what I mean, like people, but like because I've been kind of on the opposite where it's like I've struggled with finding motivation and to
Mm-hmm.
do more. It's like I want to do these things, but it's like
Yeah.
still finding the energy to do them. And
Yes,
I mean that's
absolutely.
something I've been working on and gotten good at. I mean I'm very busy these days and I love it. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
love being as busy as I am, but it is finding like the kind of structuring and knowing how much I can take on and
Yes, and I feel
um
like despite
mhm
like encountering this, definitely
mhm
I found a good balance.
yeah
Um and there were some moments where I was teetering. I was like, "Ah, I'm
yeah
going to lose it. If one more person walks
you're
in, I'm going
right
to lose my mind. I'm not ready to deal with people today."
mhm
Um but that's just the nature of like,
mhm
uh being a more public facing person
yeah
is you're talking to a lot of people, and this is the most people I've
right
ever talked to in my life.
mhm
I remember there was a point where my phone was quiet.
yeah
I
rarely
might get this is just me having like the realization within the last several months.
mhm
Just being like, "Oh my god. There was a time where
yeah
my phone like I would get text messages maybe like every other day."
yeah
And I wouldn't change a thing, but
yeah
man,
still it's a big change as far as you're going from one lifestyle to another.
yes. Yeah,
Especially,
absolutely.
yeah. I mean, I'm similar too because like a lot of people don't realize this, but I'm introverted as well. Like, I mean, people that I meet, I'm always out, I'm always around people, I'm always doing things,
Mhm.
but it's like I very much need that alone time and
Yes.
being, the recharge of the batteries. And like you're saying, I mean, I used to get very, very overwhelmed with whenever I was playing music, probably in like 2017, 2018. I was like, I was playing a lot with my band at the time, and so there would be like a whole, we'd be, having practice like Thursday night, then we'd have a show Friday, or just different things that would happen like several nights in a row, and then by like Sunday or Monday would come around, and I'm like, oh, thank God I get to go back to work and just not be around
Yeah, not
people.
deal with anyone.
Like
Yeah.
I just need that time to like not be social.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, it's
yeah.
it's a struggle there. I mean, for introverted people, where it's like we want to be out and doing this
Yeah,
stuff,
we
but it's
love
hard.
people.
It's very hard.
We just get
Yeah.
tired.
So yeah, that's a good for sure. That's always interesting. I like that question because you always learn something about someone. Or I mean, for me too, it's like how can like I'm
Like kind of
always
reflecting on your own like
yeah.
what you've got going
I don't
on.
know. Yeah, or just as far as like, because like I was saying, I'm always trying to find out how I can be a part of someone. Usually, someone says they are struggling with something. Well, it's like I know how to help with that, or like I know
Yeah.
someone, or I can do something. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
always an interesting question. But another question I like to ask is, what does success look like to you?
Mm. Success to me is the feeling when somebody walks away from, I'll say, like an event,
hmm
um and they leave feeling as though like their mind has been changed or their world has
mm
changed.
Yeah, they've taken something away
They've
from
taken
it.
something away from it, and that to me, like, even if it's something small, it doesn't have to be like a big production.
hmm
Like, it can even be like the most like minimal thing, like uh walking by somebody in the grocery store and they're not sure about a type of yogurt or
Yeah.
something, and they ask you for help
Uh-huh.
and you share a fun fact with them and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that,"
Mm.
like that feels good.
Just even that very small interaction.
Yes, yeah. And
Like you've had an effect on the world, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
In
And
some small
it can
way.
be so small.
Mhm.
You know, I've had people that have attended different events that I've been a part of over the years, and um you know, it's always surprised me who like pops back up in my life later on, and they're like, "Oh, like you're still doing this? I remember when you did this, and it, that really impacted me." Or like I tell people about that experience, and I think as people who, and I speak like for myself and my friends, I think for people who like, we like organizing in big groups, and we like, making things and doing all this stuff. Something like that, just you can't replicate the feeling. It's hard to describe, and
like that working together on something
yeah.
bigger.
Yes, and then knowing that you influenced somebody who has no idea.
Yeah.
Like what they're seeing is uh your work, or like whatever it is that you're like, whatever they're experiencing with you, or if you're teaching them even,
Yeah, that's probably definitely one thing when it comes to that, is like being a teacher. That's something I think I will want to be eventually, in some way of like teaching, anything, because it's like you go through life and you learn so much, and then at the end of, or towards the end of your life, you
Yeah,
want
it's
to
like
turn it around.
it's what you're supposed to do.
But I think that it's very rewarding, I think, in that similar way, where it's like you're really having an impact on the future, or society,
Yes.
or whatever it is.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I think that for me,
Yeah.
success means like somebody walked away with at least something from something that I've had influence
made.
on, or been part of, made,
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. I mean, that's very interesting too, and especially,
even if they walked away mad.
yeah, exactly. Like I
That's
said,
the other thing too.
it's like if there's a reaction, then
Yeah, all the
it
way back
doesn't
around to
matter.
reactions.
But yeah, that's a very interesting answer, because I love the example of like someone in the grocery store.
Yeah,
like
I shared a
just,
fun Jello
yeah,
fact about
yeah,
1400s France Jello, and what, like, I went down a rabbit hole
yeah,
about it, but I got to tell that fun
yeah,
fact, and the person I was telling it to was like, "How do
yeah,
you know that?"
yeah.
And really? That's what they used to do? I was like, yeah, it was all
Yeah.
clear. There was no food dye. You have to remember, it's the 1400s. They didn't have food science. It was
Weird.
crazy.
That's cool. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always something that, because I think that's, as humans, right? I think that's kind of I've realized this at some point lately, but not lately, but like whenever people like, all people want is to feel like they've been understood. I think, in a way, it's like we want to be seen and heard, or feel like we have been. And that's kind of the main thing most people look for in life.
Absolutely. You can solve a lot
Yeah.
by actually taking the time to understand where somebody's coming from,
Yeah.
instead of
just worrying about yourself all the
yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
sure.
it'll take you in life a lot further.
Mhm.
If I could say anything to anybody that listens to
Yeah.
this, is you get so much further in life when you can communicate even through difficult situations, and try to understand where other people are coming from, even if even if you don't understand, just being there and hearing
just
them out is
like I said, that's why I always
crucial.
say it's like they have to feel like they're understood, but they don't actually have to be understood. You
Yeah,
know what I
and you
mean?
can make that known.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
pretend like you get it.
Right.
You can actually say like, okay, I can't understand
But
what's going
I
on.
hear you. or
Yeah, I
whatever,
hear you,
yeah.
and I'm here for you. Or like, how can I help? Or if
Yeah.
I just sit here and listen, is that what you need?
Mhm.
Like, it really comes down to just being
Yeah,
present.
right.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I love that for sure. So I guess last two questions are a little bit easier. What's next for you, for Julius? What do you hope to achieve in the future, I guess?
Well, I definitely at some point want to publish a comic book.
Okay, cool.
I definitely want to make that a reality. I have one that I've been working on, but life responsibilities and everything. I'm working on it as I can.
Yeah.
Like, it's a passion project.
That's fun though.
And I'm hopeful for that. I want to continue my creative practice through video
Mm-hmm.
and making more video stuff. I really want to, um, yeah, just continue developing the craft that I've somehow found for
Mm-hmm.
myself, which is multimedia
Yeah.
and new media, and just, yeah, continuing to build on that. And, yeah, hoping to, I don't know, maybe one day, like, work on, like, at least a short film,
Yeah.
like, maybe like a 30-minute thing. I don't
Like
know.
as far as I mean, definitely, and that's something I similarly too. It's like I do sound. I guess is my um when I have done some film stuff. It's like boom up,
Right.
which I like. I just love being around it, and I want to do it
Yes.
more. And I
Yeah.
love sound in general. Like I know a lot about it, so that made the most sense. But yeah, I definitely want to do film too and make more of it.
Yes, I want to make more of it, and I want to
uh,
just like I'm a practical effects person,
yeah.
and so I really love playing with how you can achieve something
Hmm.
through um, actually
Yeah.
physically making
Right.
it.
Make it look because that's what one of the things that I love about film too is like you just have a frame, a box, and
You're in a box.
it's like all you have to do is make it look real in there. It's like it
Hmm.
can be, and it can just be made out of like paper, and it can look like a castle or something. I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah. I
like
mean,
stones that
yeah. I
aren't
mean,
real
they
stones.
hand
Yeah,
painted, backgrounds. I use Mary
yeah,
Poppins as a great
mm,
example of really pushing the boundaries of what you can do with practical
yeah.
effects. And I'll send you a link to this after the fact, but they used a specific form of screening out in Mary
Mm,
Poppins that like they only made like 3 bulbs to be
mm,
able to do this specific technique.
yeah.
Um, because in it, like you'll see like translucent things across
Uh-huh.
like the painted backgrounds that they made,
Interesting.
and it has to do with this specific bulb. But I'll send you the
Yeah,
link
I'll
to the
check it
video of these
out.
guys who were able to recreate it.
Okay.
So it's not like it's dead, like it can't be
Right.
redone,
But
but
still, it's like kind of like almost a
it was
lost
almost
art.
yeah, it was almost a lost art, and I'm fascinated by the guys
Hmm.
who put that video out because
Yeah.
Mary Poppins is a great example of like
Yeah.
what they
What?
were able to
Hmm.
accomplish in that time.
That's incredible. Definitely. So, okay. Last question this is the easy one. Where can people find you and see more of your work? Little
Well,
plugs.
all right. Well,
You got a lot.
well, so where you can find me is a majority of the time I am on the Uncanny Art House social media.
Hmm.
So you can follow us on Instagram at Uncanny Art House. You can also find us on TikTok and YouTube. But for me personally, I go by Julius the Robot pretty much everywhere.
Hmm.
My website is jtrpop.com. And yeah, if you got creative ideas or you just want to talk through some ideas that you might have or you've got a project in mind, like I love talking about what you've got going on and
Hmm.
yeah, just, I like solving
Yeah,
problems.
and figuring out how you can be involved or
Yeah,
different
yeah. Or
things.
if not me, then I
Yeah,
probably know
right,
somebody, like
exactly.
somebody that could be helpful. So, yeah, I'm always open to conversation. Anybody can hit me up. I'm chronically online still, even if it doesn't seem like
Yeah,
it.
for
I
sure.
am very much online.
That's great. I guess one thing I forgot to mention, but it's like, is there any upcoming events or things you want to plug? This I'm trying to probably gonna have this out. Probably by on. I think I'm gonna have it out on Halloween, actually, that Friday.
Oh, how
Yeah,
exciting!
just because I always put stuff out on Fridays, and it just happens.
Okay,
But yeah,
well, I definitely
so anything after that is my point.
okay, anything after Halloween.
Yeah.
So we are going to have a closing reception for the current exhibition in the
Mhm.
Company of Paintings by James Bond.
Mhm.
And then we have our next art exhibition opening on November 14th, which is Art Soup 2.0, which is our
Mhm.
group
Yeah.
exhibition at the end of the year. And that show will be up for 2 months. And then December 12th, we will have our Punk Rock Santa Flea Market.
Oh yeah.
And that will be where we have a bunch of vendors. They'll be hanging out with us all day. And then, of course, there's Second Friday Art Walk that
Mhm.
evening as well. So it's a
Okay.
great time to come
Yeah.
to Norman. and yeah, see what everybody's got going on. Lots of art down there, lots of performers, music happening everywhere. It's a good time.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'll have to come back out for that. I don't make it to Norman Art Walk very often just because it's a little bit of a drive. I don't know. It's hard for me to get to Norman or want to get to Norman.
Yes, it's hard. Well, you could come
But yeah,
if you
this
wanted
sounds
to.
like a good.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could come to our Uncanny Art Hang holiday
yeah.
party.
That'd be fun.
We're gonna have it on. Yeah, it'll be December
Yeah,
21st
okay.
is gonna be our Art Hang holiday party.
Okay.
So it's gonna be like a little potluck.
Mhm.
You know, like people can come hang out, make art if they want to, or
Mhm.
we might have some holiday crafts. But
Yeah.
it's really just to all
Just
have
hang
dinner
out.
together.
That's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I love any kind of like networking things I've been trying to get to more and more too. So
Yeah, and that vibe is very chill.
Yeah.
Like it's not as chaotic as Art Walk is because
Yeah.
that can be a lot. I've started doing the pre-walks around Art Walk
Oh yeah.
at like
to see.
at like
the stuff.
4:30,
Right.
5:30, that
Mhm.
time frame before it starts
Yeah.
popping off because it just gets too crazy for me to leave the space. So
Yeah, for sure. It makes sense.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Julius. This has been fascinating conversation.
Yes, thank you so much. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thanks for coming up from Norman, of course, to see us. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.